What's up, everybody? Welcome to MLG's Fight Night. This is the first night of fighting, I guess you could say, here for MLG, our very first show. So if things go wrong, which they possibly might, just bear with us as we are still kind of honing the show and kind of working things out as we go along. But this is how the show is going to work. Throughout the night, probably going to be broadcasting for around 2 hours, but throughout the night, I'm going to be randomly inviting people on my friends list that possibly have sent me a friends list through Team Liquid, through in-game in StarCraft 2 on Battle.net, and I'm going to try to rank up the players to where they're about the same skill, at least when it comes to the ladder, and then you guys will simply play each other, and we're going to be broadcasting this match. Co-casting with me tonight is probably an unfamiliar voice to fans of the StarCraft community. It's going to be Keith Igof Trahan, and if you've listened to any of MLG's WoWcast in the past, that was a nice rhyme by me, but if you've listened to any of the WoWcast in the past, you will recognize this country voice, as he has done WoW for Major League Gaming for about the past year or so, and he's quite the StarCraft player. But Keith, why don't you go and introduce yourself so everyone can laugh at your voice?
Oh, well, I appreciate it, JP. You know, I haven't commentated in, 6 months now, and just come out the gates already swinging. I appreciate that. But no, since the last WoW event, haven't really been doing too much WoW, but trying to stay away from it. And magically, right in the middle of that, did get StarCraft 2 beta, and just been kind of sticking with it and having a lot of fun. I mean, this game just goes so far back to a lot of gamers now can think back to whenever they first played StarCraft, and shoot, people still now to this day play it around the world. So it's just great to have an opportunity to be involved with the game so early and see some of these great players already rising up.
Right. Okay, so this is how it's going to work. My name on Battle.net right now is fightnight.mlg@gmail.com. Send me a real ID friend request. I will accept that. And throughout the night, I will probably be adding you to games, so make sure you are watching. I'll probably announce the names on stream in case you do have it alt tabbed watching the stream, but I expect to get flooded here relatively soon. But let's go ahead and get our first match started. It is going to be Nadagast against KVZ, also known as Kevs. Now, it's kind of funny because we do have a ex-WoW caster here, and we also have two ex-WoW pros. Nadagast is currently playing World of Warcraft, but Kevs used to play for the Czech 6 squad about 2 years ago, and these players are also some great StarCraft players. Nadagast is actually one of Artosis' training partners. They were training earlier, right before this match, actually, so he's going to be pretty fresh. But Kevs, I'm not sure if he plays with any of the pros, but he is a relatively good Zerg. So we're going to be playing here on Lost Temple TVZ, our first matchup of the night here on MLG's Fight Night. And to start things off, Keith, what do you know about? You do play the Zerg race. What do you know about the TVZ TVZ matchup, rather?
Well, on TVZ, on Lost Temple, specifically the high ground right outside the natural expansion, that can, as the game goes on, there's some drops that are opened up there. Terran can definitely play a little bit of Reaper play, jumping up and down from those cliffs, and it can be a huge map for Terran to really play the harass game. But honestly, when it comes down to TVC, I actually had the opportunity to listen to the cast watching Slush play, and, watching his TVZ was just absolutely amazing. Specifically whenever he came across doing the Burrowed Roach play, and it was just incredible to watch. So if I had the opportunity to see somebody pull that off again, it would be incredible.
Yeah, Kevs was actually telling me the other day that he did in fact play Day 9 in the ladder. They met up, and Day 9 does play random in the ladder, and he actually did get Terran. And he did this Viking strat that we saw Jinro do here in a custom game a while back, which is a mass Viking strat. It's really, I haven't really seen it too much in the tournament scene yet, but it's really, really viable, and Kev's pretty much just straight up lost to it. He said he was completely caught off guard. So it'll be interesting to see what Nadagast chooses to do here. I really have no idea what he's doing, but he is opting for an early Rax. We might be seeing some Reaper harassment here. He does not have a depot down quite yet. He did build that, and I want to say about 6 or 7 food. And going back over to Kevs, he still does not have anything up. Of course, he does have that Overlord. Looks like he's probably going to be 15 hatching with a pool right after, or maybe just a pool before, and 1 base roaching. He is early scouting, though, with this drone, which is huge right now, because he is going to be seeing that Rax going down really, really quickly, as well as that refinery. So he knows that Reaper's coming. He probably has seen this build quite some times, as he does play ladder quite a lot.
Yeah, but one thing is he did scout it out, and he's already seen it coming, and now the pull's going down finally. There we go, we see it. It's going to be on a 14 pull. It was just a little bit late, so it looks like that he was going to go for that early hatchery, but pretty much forced to change up his build whenever he saw Reapers coming. But as you notice, the Tech Lab's still not started just yet, and there it goes. So I don't believe he caught vision of it just yet, but he already knows what's coming.
Yeah, we do see that orbital command finish now for Nadagast. He is going to be dropping mules and catching back up there with the minerals as he kind of had to cut SCVs there to do such an early aggressive Reaper rush. Going back over to Kev's base, we do see that spawning pool looks to be about 80% done, and we do see that hatchery going down now at the natural expansion of Kev. So looks like Kev knows what is coming. He does throw down an extractor as well, possibly to get roaches relatively quickly, or go for speedlings. We'll have to see what he chooses to do right here.
And there we go. We see the spawning pool is going to finish, but no queen being started just yet. He's actually going to opt to get out a Zergling, and there we go. Finally, the queen will be started. But we do see a bunker going down for Nadagast at Kev's natural expansion. So now we're going to see some drones come out and go ahead and try to knock that down before it finishes, because he knows the aggression is coming as that Reaper is almost to Kev's base.
Yeah, we do see this Reaper now coming here. That Drax did not finish because Nadagast did pull away. And there's the SCV getting almost surrounded. Well, some pretty good unit control here from Kevs. We do see him lift that, or not lift, but move that Reaper there onto the hill to get an extra few hits. And the SCV, while with 10 HP, there is going to finish that bunker as the hatch is about 80% done. And the Reaper will probably be going into that bunker, getting a little bit extra hits on the hatchery. I wonder if... Okay, he can actually hit that hatchery. I was thinking that he might be too far. We now see a queen slowly coming forward with a bunch of drones and one Ling to defend against us. There come 4 more Lings. He now has 2 Reapers in that bunker. Kevs needs to make a move here relatively quickly. He needs to kill that SCV really quick with those drones. Nice surround. Looks like he's not going to be able to get out of there. He kills it with the queen, and now he's going to be focused on that bunker. The bunker might fall. Let's see what happens here. Looks like those Reapers are doing so much damage to those drones, and now it's just the queen versus the bunker. The bunker is now at 200 HP. Another Reaper is coming to back that up. We see 4 more Lings just coming straight and getting demolished as they rush towards that bunker. And the queen is at 21 HP. Looks like 2 more Lings spawn. They just die immediately. I think Kev might have to sack that hatchery right here, Keith.
Yeah, that hatchery is done for, and honestly, looking at his count and everything, going from how much he sacrificed, yeah, Kevs is going to go ahead and throw it up and say GG. Just once the bunker finally finished, he was in a bad position already.
All right, guys, so there you have it. These games will be a best of 1. We don't want to do too many series because we want to try to get as many players as possible. So now we're going to do our first random invite match of the night. Let me try to figure out what map we want to do. We just did Lost Temple, so let's go ahead and move it over to Metalopolis. We'll go ahead and get that started. I have a ton of messages right now. Remember, you can add fightnight.mlg@gmail.com to your real ID friends list, and I will accept that immediately and possibly be pulling you into more matches. So let me go and get this match set up, get our spectator invited, and also my co-caster Keith invited, and then I will pick some players here.
Now, going back and talking a little bit about the game that just went down between Kevs and Nadagast, like, just watching that where he actually saw the Reapers coming and still opted to go for his natural expansion, it just seemed like, he wasn't quite ready to adapt in that kind of situation, because as you know, any well-microed Reapers is going to pretty much destroy any Zerglings you throw at it.
All right, looks like we do have one opponent right now. Actually invited him, Andrew. Well, I guess I shouldn't say his full name, but his ID is Tebibi Misk. I'm not really sure what that is, but he has accepted. He did say he's a top 10 Protoss player in the ladder. Let me go and find a second opponent here, trying to get somewhat equal. Or trying my best to get somewhat equal opponents. If you can send me a message, possibly saying what what rank you are in the Platinum League, that would help a little bit. Let me invite this guy. Let's see what he's doing right now on the ladder. He is 42 in the Plat League. He's only played 21 games, and I really don't feel like watching a toss mirror. So we'll go ahead and let that one go. Let me. We could ask Faith. Let me see if Faith is down to play. Faith being a Montreal player who is quite... I don't think he's made too many appearances there on the tournament scene, but he is a very good Terran player. Look, wow, I just got a ton of friend requests. This is going to be kind of hard to handle. So I'm just going to invite this guy. Let's see how this goes. It is kind of random tonight. We got to work out a better system, but yeah, I just invited Pone to the game. He does play Zerg, I believe. So, wow, I am getting spammed right now. Waiting for Pwn to accept. Pwn, if you're out there listening, please accept and join the game so we can get this match started.
Yeah. I mean, as you know, you refine this and everything, but just for now, if people could at least send ranks and maybe, you know, how many games played, just to try to at least keep these games somewhat close.
All right, Pwn, you're out. We're getting RJ DJ in now, actually, a Zerg player. He said he is 23 Plat Zerg, so let me go ahead and find his name on the list. Quite the list of friends I already have here on this new account, but we added him to the game, waiting for him to accept.
And this is looking promising already, as the first player says, all right, hopefully I don't drop.
Awesome. This is live casting, people. Yeah, RJ DJ, go ahead and close the live stream. Wow, you can't hear me saying this, so I guess I should type that. Yes, go ahead. Close it. Tell me when you're
Professional.
Professional, yes. Also, like the random guys spamming our Ustream chat. We do have a moderator in there, so what's up to Shrews, MLG moderator, and also the editor-in-chief of Godfrag.com, so thanks for doing that. Let's see if this guy, or if these two players are ready. I'm ready. Hopefully there's no crash. Awesome. All right, so let's go and get this match started. I'm going to go and start the game. We do have... Oh, wow, he picked Zerg a little bit late there. I was making sure he would pick it. So we do have a ZVP matchup here on Metalopolis. Now, like I said, I have no idea what these players are going to do. I have no idea of their playstyle. I mean, they could honestly lie to me, really, about their rank. They could be complete nubs. I have really no idea. It'll be interesting to see just how this works out. So let's go ahead and get it started here. Waiting for the map to load a little bit slow. We do see one player now finishing, and now I am fully loaded. So we're in our second match here on MLG's Fight Night, and just to keep spamming the name to be added to the list, it is fightnight.mlg@gmail.com. Send a real ID request to that, and I will accept it. And also, if you can PM me what rank you are in Plat. If you're also a silver player, don't be ashamed of that. I'll try to find a silver player to match you up to, and we'll get that match casted as well. But we also do see in this game, going back to the game, we do see the red toss player spawning at the 9 o'clock position, and at the 6 o'clock position, we do see our Zerg player, Blue Zerg, spawning there. Now he is sending this Overlord straight to the toss space, and going over to toss space, we do see a pylon now going down at 9. So Keith, ZVP, as I said, you do play Zerg. What do you know about this matchup?
Well, already seeing the beginning of this matchup and how it's located, his Overlord's going to go ahead and get a very early scout on the toss to be able to see if maybe he's going to be going for some sort of early aggression, double gateway. But, you most likely going to look for that standard gate cybernetics. But from there, that's where things really get tricky playing Zerg against toss. A lot of people talk about the Immortal Push and, of course, Void Rays and the various things that Toss can do. And the problem is actually getting sight on it and seeing. That's the biggest thing about Zerg, is knowing exactly what the Toss is going to do, so you have plenty of time to react and get a good counter going.
We do see that Overlord now spotting the Toss, and the Toss player does pull back his probe, so there is hope yet for... Man, we got to come up with it. We're just going to call him BB from now on, because I'm not going to pronounce Ted BB Misk. So we do see a BB now with that gateway. He is putting up a simulator there, and he is also being spotted by a drone as well as a Overlord. The drone is doing a little bit of harassment there on that probe. Let's see what happens. He actually gets quite a few hits there. Probably going to see... I'm not sure what that probe is doing. Looks like... Oh, okay, he's throwing down another pylon. Going back over to the Zerg's base, he does have that spawning pull about half. Looks like he is saving up for a hatch. Let's see, or maybe not. Looks like he is not saving up for a hatch. It'll be interesting to see what strategy he decides to do here. The toss player looks like he's doing a complete wall off. Actually, not a complete wall off. He does have a little bit of a open area there at the top of his gateway, but he is throwing down that cybernetics core and chrono boosting probes. Pretty standard stuff right now for the toss player. Probably going to see an early robotics, possibly see a timing push here with an immortal, or maybe even a void ray, like you were saying, Keith.
And now we're actually seeing the RJDJ put down a spine crawler, and now that's a little bit of a crucial drone here so early in the game for him to be throwing down a spine crawler. And specifically when we haven't even seen a Zealot, come out just yet, but here comes the first one going to be finished here. But that drone did stay in there for a good while, saw the Cybernetic Sport finish, but he's not exactly sure of what's happening after. And we do see BB actually going to be making a forge after. So right now, it's kind of up in the air what these two players are doing, but I do notice that RJDJ is sitting really high on minerals for this point in the game, sitting around 300, and he is getting that second gas, and now we do see another spine crawler going down.
Yeah, it looks like RJDG might be expecting a little bit of a push here, and we now see the Stargate going down for BB there in his base. Probably going to see some Void Rays or see some Phoenix uses, which actually just did receive a buff here in the latest patch. They can now attack while moving, so we'll have to see if he can utilize this. We do see RJDG now going about 300 minerals. Wow, he is throwing down another Spine Crawler there and also getting a Lair, so he might be going Hydralisk. He might be even going Mutas. If he goes Mutas, he might just be listening to the stream and expecting a Stargazer relatively soon.
And it's funny looking at BB as well, putting up a photon cannon. Like both these guys are just kind of D'ing up. But right now, I do put BB in a little bit of ahead because he does have that Stargate just now finishing and a Void Ray coming out, meaning that this Zerg player RJDJ is only going to have his Queen, and that Queen will lose 1v1 to that Void Ray.
Yeah, the Void Ray is being chrono boosted there from that gate, and he already has it rallied directly to the Zerg's base. We see the Zerg sending out a Lone Ling to go ahead and scout the Toss's base there, but he's not going to be able to get through as he does have that Photon Cannon as well as a Zealot there at the choke point of his main base. That Void Ray is almost done. It looks to be about 90% done. We see another Gateway going down. Has he researched? Okay, he's actually just now starting the Warp Gate research, so we'll see we'll have to see what he is doing. The wow, the Zerg player is throwing down a Spire there with some Overlord puke a little bit off of the base. Here comes that Void Ray. He is going to see that Spire and probably take it out relatively soon. He's actually focusing on that Overlord. There's that Queen. He needs to go over on the Queen. There you go. Good job, BB, going back on that Queen. He is on full power there at that Void Ray. That Queen's going to fall relatively soon. He does pull it back on the creep there, almost making the Void Ray lose his full charge. He's pulling over some Lings, but not sure if RJDJ knows, but Lings can't attack that Void Ray. Wondering why he's not focusing that Spire. I guess killing the gas is a good choice as well. He could be a little bit more aggressive right here, though, as there's pretty much nothing right now from RJ right here. Maybe BB just likes to have his game casted, and he's going to make this last as long as possible. That Din does finish for RJDJ, and it looks like he's going to be throwing up an expansion there at his natural.
And now we do see that second Queen come out as well for a little bit of defense against these Void Rays, but now the shield of the first Void Ray has completely replenished, and it's gonna be two Void Rays coming in, and that one Queen is still sitting way below half-life. But still, I'm curious as to why we're not seeing that much aggression with these two Void Rays already out.
We do see 3 Mutalisks actually being produced there from the Zerg player. Those are probably going to be able to take out maybe one of the Void Rays, but that other Void Ray has recharged to full shields, so it'll be a close fight. It depends on if the Void Rays start that fight at full power or not. We do see 2 Queens now to add to the anti-air support, and he is going to see this natural expansion of the Zerg player down right now, but still, he runs away. I guess that hatchery was intimidating or something. Not really sure what's going on there. We see a couple Lings now just sitting at the natural expansion of the Protoss player, and now these Mutalisks are going to be going on this Void Ray. They are actually faster than Void Ray, so he needs to turn around and fight instead of just running around like this. It looks like he's going to lose one Void Ray right there. But that Nexus is finishing there at the natural expansion of BB's base. A little late on the drone transfer, though. We do see these Mutalisks trying to do a little bit of harassment right here, but he does have Stalkers to go and defend those Mutalisks quite easily.
And now we see him actually microing around a little bit, though, getting some harass in. So a little sign of life there, but still no drones on that natural expansion for RJDJ, and still really haven't seen much of anything out of him just yet. As far as economy goes, both players are relatively even, except now BB is pulling ahead that his natural expansion is getting up and running.
We do see a couple of Hydralisks also being spawned from RJ's base. We now see, a carrier coming from that Stargate. Looks like I missed that. It is almost complete. Looks to be about 90% complete. He does not have that Graviton Catapult research from that fleet beacon, and now we got to see if he spawns the mothership, because if he spawns the mothership, BB is going to be my favorite Protoss that I've ever casted, because those are the two best units in the game. So we do have this Overlord here. He probably has seen this natural expansion of BB. He is throwing up that second Vespene geyser to get a little bit more gas status. He does have a carrier. Going back over to RJ's base, he does have a queen there. It looks like he's got both of his bases set up. He also has a Nidus
network
with little to no ground units. Looks like he's kind of heavy right now on the Mutalisk, or at least those are the most units that he has. He is spawning a little bit more Hydralisk. He's also researching he is also building a Roach Warren. That Spire is going to die, though, as it does not have any creep right now on it. He's throwing down... Oh, here comes that queen. Looks like he's going to be throwing down a creep tumor.
Oh, did you see that? No, he used transfusion from his queen to give it 150 life. Now he needs to bring his other queen over there to put a creep tumor down because that queen is out of energy.
RJ DJ, come on, man! He's sending these Overlords over there furiously. Those Overlords see that Spire spewing blood. He needs to get those over there as fast as possible. Not even casted the match. Just worried so much about this Spire right now from the Zerg player. He is spawning more Hydralisk right now. Going back over to the Zerg or the Protoss player, excuse me, he is spawning more carriers. Looks like he has not built that mothership yet. He is kind of high right now on the mana of both of his Nexus, though, sitting around 50 and 100 mana. Looks like the Zerg player is going to be able to save that Spire, though. Gets down to 20 HP, and there comes the Overlord spewing down on it. So he's going to be saving that tech. And looks like he's spawning. Looks like he's going to go for a mass Hydralisk strategy right now.
And looking on the other side, BB's massing carriers. I mean, you see it coming out now. Air Weapons 1, 2 carriers being made. He did get that Graviton research, so, I mean, mass carriers in the second game of casting on your Fight Night. Look at this, JP.
Well, it's your first game of ever casting, so this should be quite
even
show
better
for you. He does have, looks like 3 carriers are about to be coming out soon. Here comes some Mutalisk harassment from RJ. He's going to be seeing that fleet beacon. He's going to be attacking that other Stargate. Looks like we might see these carriers in action right here. The smart thing to do is pull back, and RJ does actually, no, he's going to try to snipe one of these pylons or even some probes maybe. Looks like he does snipe a couple probes there from the gas of the main base of BB, but he is going to have to pull back because there's just too much anti-air right there. Now let's see if BB actually does put more probes back in those gases. It looks like he did lose. Oh, wow, he does. Oh, no, maybe nope, he's deciding. Okay, it does go in the gas, so a little bit better than some of those pro players I've seen is they quite often do forget that extra probe in the gas if it dies.
And now the Nidus network is loaded up, and there we go. There we see it outside, on the south side of BB's base. It's coming through, and he's actually going to get his units over to BB's base, but I don't think that's where he wants to be right now. I don't think this is going to go too well for him.
I'm not actually sure how many Hydra... Oh, but now we see a ton of Roaches and a ton of Hydralisk here. This will be a great fight as we have 3 carriers, a handful of Stalkers, and a couple of Zealots right now. If he needs to pull those units in the back there from attacking the Interceptors as well as that Assimilator and attack those carriers or those Stalkers. Looks like BB is going to be pulling ahead right here. Some focus attack there from the Zerg player. He is going to be losing those units very rapidly. Puts them back in the Nidus network, so they're going to be safe at home there. Going back over to the Zerg base, we do see some Corruptors now out. Looks like 2 Corruptors with 1 more in production. And back at the Toss's base, we now have 4 carriers out. Some mass carriers here from the Toss player.
Now, one thing to note as well is BB got a 3rd expansion up on the northwest side of the map, and you notice his economy is just starting to take off in regards compared to RJ DJ. But one thing is, there we go, finally getting the 2 gas on that northwest position, finally running, and now carriers are just going to be flowing out from BB at this point.
We do see an infestation pit going down now, and quite a few changes to the infestors in this most recent patch, with Neural Parasite actually being a researched ability for, looks like 150 minerals and 150 gas and taking 110 seconds to complete. But they can actually Neural Parasite the carriers, which would just be out of control if we saw that here in this game. The Toss player is going to be a little bit of aggressive move here as he does go outside of the Zerg's base, but the Zerg has a lot of units right now. Looks like they're taking down those Stalkers and Zealots quite handily, but those carriers are focusing down those Corruptors. It'll be interesting to see here. Actually, it won't be interesting to see anything because now all of the Zerg's units are gone from these 6 carriers right outside of his base.
Mass carriers. Oh, this is so good. Yeah, and now at this point, I mean, honestly, I don't think RJDJ is going to really be able to do anything as BB's economy is just too strong at this point, and there are too many carriers out. But look at this mass queen defense coming in.
3 queens. There's the GG from RJDJ. Wow, and BB saying good game as well as some good ports. Now let's see if these players actually leave the game, because there we go. Thanks for leaving, guys. Now I'm just getting a ton of spam, so we're going to go ahead and get our next match started here relatively soon. As soon as I can pick the players out, now I have 24 friend requests, and of course that email is fightnight.mlg@gmail.com, so send those real ID friend requests to me as long as I don't crash, as it's just taking forever to load these friend requests right now. We're going to try to get some pro players in here. I know Faith wanted to play. I think we might have Zelnik playing later tonight. I'm not sure if he's around right now. I have just so many messages open. I got to figure out a way to help organize this. But looks like we might just go ahead and get another random game out, and during that game, I might just try to set up the next matchup. So we're going to go ahead and get our next match started here. Looks like we're going to be playing on Blistering Sands as I do create the game. I have a ton of friend requests right now to sort through. So Keith, as I'm making this game and getting people invited, why don't you just talk for a second?
So far, after 2 games, I mean, that's one of the great things about Fight Night is trying to get people of all skill levels in. You know, it's not always the greatest because a lot of people do like to watch these live casts to see these pro players and see what they're doing. But also, it's just nice to see, you know, a lot of people out there from all different skill levels that are out there playing this game and enjoying the game. And that's just an opportunity that this Fight Night will bring to everybody, is just get a chance to get out there, maybe get your name known, advance throughout the leagues, and eventually turn into maybe one of the pro players out there. Our first game, Natagas versus Kevs. Natagas, a very good player, as JP mentioned earlier in the cast. I've actually had the opportunity to play against him a couple times as well, and he's definitely a solid player. And then our second game, you know, even though it's not a professional level game, it's still enjoyable to watch. We had a few laughs, and you definitely get to see some things that you don't normally see in these professional games in the Plat Leagues and stuff, because it's very standard builds, or it's cheese.
We do have Faith joining the game. Looking for an opponent for Faith. This is going to actually be a little bit harder because Faith is quite good. We did find a rank 3 Terran player, but it looks like Sound is in game, so might have to skip him. Wow, I just have so... I didn't even know that the bottom bar can actually be moved across like that. That's a little bit ridiculous. But I'm trying to find our next opponent. Looks like... Top 10 plus. I could play any game anytime next hours. All right. Oh, okay. That's actually BB that I was just reading. I need to close that out. Go ahead and will you cast a 2v2? We'll be doing 2v2s probably in a little bit. We'll have to see if I can find 4 people in a game. That's going to be a little bit hard. I'm going to go ahead and invite this player. Okay. It looks like Atlas is going to join. Actually, we'll use Moman. I wonder if that's the real Moman, because Moman is really good.
Highest rank, Plat League Division, rank 2. So it should be a good game.
All right, I guess we're going to go ahead and start then. I can't believe we've got Moman right now in our game. All right, let me see if the players are ready. Keith, I don't suspect you speak French, so you can talk to the players, do you?
No, not at all.
All right.
Yeah,
they're just ignoring the silly Englishmen here.
Just do GG, have fun. You know, just throw that out there. They'll get the picture. See, look.
All right, looks like they're good to go. We're gonna go ahead and get this match started. A ZVT on Blistering Sands between Moman and Faith. Now, I don't know too much about Moman, but I do know he's a great player. I've heard Artosis talk about him a lot. I actually think he was just recently sponsored, but I can't actually remember the team. Maybe we'll possibly get him in Skype, although he might not even speak one word of English, so that might just be a terrible, terrible idea.
Yeah.
But we do have the players.
You know how that is.
We do have the players spawning here. The Green Terran Faith, a.k.a. Moonlight, at the east side of the map, and in the southwest side of the map, we have Moman, the Red Zerg. Now, Keith, what do you know about Blistering Sands and the TVZ matchup?
Now, one thing to note is how small it's very close together on this map. It's a lot of intense action, and also a big thing to note is those destructible rocks that go out towards the middle of the map, which can become a huge part of the game later on, as someone that's trying to take their natural and just D up right there in that choke, which is a really strong defensive point. Someone can just come around to the back side of the map and destroy those rocks and come through. But again, on TBC, like I said, I had the opportunity to watch Slush, and if you haven't had the chance to see that, those are some great games, and he's a phenomenal player. But looking at TVZ, a lot of early Hellion harass is one thing that a lot of players like to do, but also, like we saw earlier, that very early Reaper can be devastating if the Zerg player is trying to get that early hatchery out.
We do see the Zerg player actually going up to 13 food right now. Going back over to the Terran player, we do have that first depot down. Looks like he's going to be building a Rax there at his choke. He's also sending out SCV, and also a little bit of an early drone scout here from Moman, possibly looking for a Reaper harassment here from Faith, the Terran player. Going back over to Moman's main, we still do not see any buildings being produced. He's up to 15 right now. Probably going to be seeing a pool going down here relatively soon. There's 200 minerals, and there's the pool. Going back over to Moonlight's base, aka Faith, we do see some decent micro here on that drone. Looks like he's going to be trying to stop this SCV from possibly building a depot there. Not really sure why he doesn't go check for gas, but Moman being a great player, so he probably knows something that I don't. We do see that refinery going down in Faith's base, so possibly a reactor or a tech lab being thrown down here at the racks. He might actually be trying to block that tech lab with that drone right there, but it's getting really close to dying there at 6 HP. We see a Marine being spawned from that racks right there, Keith.
All right, and now taking a quick look over to Moman, he was up to almost 300 minerals there, but finally putting down a gas at 16 and letting this go ahead and finish. And now we see an Overlord and a drone being produced. Spawning pool is going to finish, but he is not going to opt to make the Queen just yet. There we go. He's going to do it after the Overlord pops. So Queen being produced. Pretty standard, a little late on the spawning pool from Moman, but nothing too crazy just yet. Gas does finish, but we're not seeing any drones transferred over to it just yet.
One thing to note is that Faith actually did place an SCV there at the natural expansion of Moman, as he is saved up to about 400 minerals right now. He's blocking that hatchery from being put down. There goes the hatchery. Looks like Faith forgot about that SCV as he was back in his base building a factory. Probably going to be seeing a reactor being thrown down at that racks, and then he will, of course, switch over the racks to the factory, or switch the factory over to the racks, and of course start doing some Hellion harassment. That hatchery is down at the natural expansion. We do see 2 Lings also being put down as well. We see the second gas now up for Faith also.
Now, it looks like Moman is going to use these Lings to go ahead and check out that wall of Faith, and he will see this factory and the reactor going up and kind of get an idea of what's going on. And there we go. The Roach Warren is being put down, so Moman already has the feeling Hellions are coming, and Roach is great for defending that, and he already has his hatchery about halfway complete at his natural expansion. So right now everything is in motion for Moman, but we'll have to see how well Faith is able to react with these Hellions when they come out. Look at these Zerglings blocking this factory from landing. How incredible.
Looks like he delayed that factory from landing for about 4 or 5 seconds, which doesn't seem like that much, but it is going to be delaying those Hellions from being produced, is right now that natural expansion of Moman is going to be popping right there, and also that Roach Warren is done. He is spawning 2 roaches now. It'll be interesting to see if he decides to block that ramp, because he doesn't really have any drones right now at the natural expansion of his base there for Moman. He needs to be transferring over some drones relatively quickly. He does have those 2 roaches spawn as well, and here come the 2 Hellions now tearing across the map.
So a couple roaches out, but he does have a Queen at his base for defense, and now you see the roaches go ahead and heading to that ramp, and he's going to go ahead and make 2 roaches at his natural expansion as well, so kind of keep that ramp blocked a little bit. And now you see those Hellions just kind of coming back and forth, so we'll have to see what happens here, but it looks like that Faith is going to go ahead and pull back as he sees more roaches being spawned.
Yeah, with some we see also does spawn that Queen there at the natural expansion. Probably going to be seeing a little bit more of some drones being built. He does throw down a creep tumor there at the natural expansion instead of spewing larvae into that hatchery. We now have 4 Hellions from Faith. Wow, and he snipes that creep tumor almost immediately, which is got to be really, really annoying for Moman, because right now that Queen is only sitting on about 20 energy, and there's really nothing you do. Wow, he almost got those drones caught there, right there, as he was transferring them over to the natural expansion. He keeps 1 drone. He might possibly be making a spine crawler with that. It looks like the Hellions were trying to get into the natural expansion there and possibly snipe down that drone. Moman's kind of trying to decide there, doing a little dance with that drone. Those Hellions
now check it out though. Faith does have 2 Vikings coming out. He did put a starport onto that reactor, and now we see the Vikings coming across the map. So this should be interesting to see, as these Hellions are still at Moman's front gate, and these 2 Vikings are going to be coming in right across those destructible rocks. And there you see it running right into an Overlord, and things are going to start getting a little rocky for Moman.
Looks like that Overlord is going to fall quite quickly. We do see that Hydralisk Den being built now. Looks to be about half. But right now, the only anti-air that Moman has are these Queens. Faith needs to get in there and do as much damage as possible with these Vikings, as 2 more now stream across there in the middle of the map. He needs to kill as many Overlords as possible, because we do see that Hydralisk Den finished now, and also we are going to be seeing some Hydras finished relatively soon. Come on, Moman. Don't make me look dumb. Start building some Hydras.
No. Oh, there we go. The Hydras are started. And now, but the thing is, that's 4 Vikings already out. Now we see them landing. He's going to go ahead and come around the backside of the base, and these drones are going to be in a little bit of trouble here. He's going to score at least a few drone kills, and now we see this Queen coming in. The Queen's going to get melted, and now we see a bunch more drones going down as some roaches come in, and now 1 Viking getting very low, but still opting not to lift it off just yet. And there's those Hydras. Wow, come out, and now 3 Vikings go down, but 2 more come in, so that's going to put his Viking count down to 3, but those 4 Hydras popping out just in the right moment, even though Moman did lose his Queen in that fight.
We do see a command center now being lifted that was built there in the main base of Faith. He is going to be transitioning that over to the natural expansion right outside of his base. We also see 2 racks being thrown down. He has also researched that concussive shell upgrade. Probably going to be seeing him transition into a heavy Marauder force right now. He does also have a couple of Vikings thrown about right now. He did attach a tech lab to that factory. Possibly going to be seeing some siege tanks relatively soon, as I do not see... Oh, actually, never mind. I do see an armory going down there in the back, so we might actually see some Thors.
And now, this is kind of a little diversity coming out from watching Faith. I really like seeing him switch his play up. You saw those Hellions come out, some very early aggression, then those Vikings come across, and now he has 5 Vikings just kind of going across the map, and just trying to keep the pressure up at this point. But one thing to note is this second expansion for Moman is really up and swinging at this point. You see his economy is just taking off at this point, but now we do see that Faith's command center and orbital command has landed. Now you see some SCVs transferring over. So now at this point, Faith is trying to get his economy rolling as fast as Moman's.
We do see an evolution chamber going up now from Moman. He's going to be getting those upgrades. He has a ton of upgrades actually being researched right now. He's got speed links. Looks like he's got the groove spines. He also has the roach movement speed upgrade. So he looks like he's probably going to be going for this roach hydra ling composition for his army. We do see those Vikings now in the south. Looks like they're a little bit upset as they can't really snipe anything right now because of the Hydralisk from Moman. Going back over into Faith's base, aka Moonlight, he is throwing down an engineering bane to get some upgrades of his own. And we also see Moman throwing down some, or not throwing down, taking out these destructible rocks with a couple of roaches there at the northwest part of the map. And Faith might actually see this with these Vikings right now, as they are in the middle of the map going straight towards that destructible rocks.
And now you see it, there is 1 siege tank out, and he also is researching that siege tech, so no Thors just yet, even though he does have the ability to put them out from that factory, but just 1 siege tank with siege coming. And now we see another Rax going down. Now one of those Rax in the middle of his base, it does have a reactor, and the other a tech lab, so it looks like a little MM force is going to be started coming out, and we do see those Vikings coming across. They're going to score at least 1 Overlord kill. And looks like they will grab another. So there's that harass coming across from Faith, and is doing a great job. But he is going to see this hatchery going down at the high yield at the northwest corner of the map.
Yeah, he might be landing those Vikings here. Really nothing that Moman can't do about those Vikings there at the high yield expansion, because roaches can, of course, not attack air. He could possibly land, but I think there's just too many roaches there, so he's going to retreat with those Vikings, possibly just take over some, or get some more map control there. He does see that roach there at the Zelnagi. He's going to land and probably take that out relatively quickly. just to deny that Xel'Naga Watchtower. Looking at Moman's right outside of his natural expansion, he does have 2 Creep Tumors down, as well as an Overlord. Wow, another Creep Tumor being thrown down right next to it. He's going to be creeping across the map right now. And Faith is just macroing like mad right now. We do see a Thor up, a tank up. He's throwing in a ton of units right now. Another Thor in production. And of course, we do see those Marauders, Marines, and 4 Medivacs right outside. So possibly going to see an attack here from Faith relatively soon.
And now looking over at Moman, he does have a good force of Hydralisks, and of course about, looks like 7 roaches up at the top of the map, but still, it looks like that Faith is getting ready to push across the map when the second Thor finishes, and it might be devastating. It really depends where this fight takes place and how he gets set up, because one of the strong points of Zerg with those Creep Tumors is as they crawl across the map, he's just going to be able to pick and choose where he wants to fight.
Looks like Faith did put Moman behind the supply cap there a little bit, now sitting at 127 of 118. So he's going to be spawning a little bit more Overlords here. He's actually spawning a lot of Overlords, as we see 4 pop out right there with 2 more in production. And now he's queuing up some drones to go over there to his new expansion at the High Yield. Going back over to Faith's base, we do see him take, or not Faith's base, but at this Eastern Xel'Naga Watchtower, he does land those 4 Vikings and kill that Roach there, possibly to deny him sight of this SCV taking this expansion there at the south part of the map. Now we see Moman taking out these destructible rocks with a ton of Hydras right there at his main base, making it a little bit easier for him to transition units from his main into the battlefield. And now here comes the push from Faith there. Looks like a ton of Marauders, 2 Thors, a ton of Medivacs now streaming across the middle of the map. And Moman does see it as he just has a ton of Overlords spewing creep all across the map right now.
Now we see the big push coming in. This Hellions a little too far forward, getting picked off, but just a moment ago, Faith's Thors were seen by an Overlord that suicided into his base, so he kind of has an idea of what's coming towards him as you see a scan, and here comes the fight as that giant concave from Moman is coming across, but those Thors at the back of Faith's army just doing an incredible job, just destroying everything. Siege Tank never really going into siege mode, but it looks like that Faith is going to come out on top in this fight.
Wow, look at that bottom Thor with 7 kills right now. He did stem a little bit late there with his Marauders and Marines, but he looked like he stemmed at the right time as he just started powering down those mass Hydras. He does have a ton of Overlords right now. He's almost towards the supply cap, and he's just looks like Faith is going to push in a little bit more, just taking so many Hydralisk and Roaches down. Looks like those units are just kind of auto-spawning there and just being thrown at the Terrans forces.
And now you see it, that Thor with 11 kills on bottom, 5 on top. And this looks like this is going to be the end of Moman, as this push from Faith was just too much.
Yeah, we do see a GG there from Moman with a nice job. As Day9 says, the Europeans are, of course, always nice. And there we have it. Our, I think this is the 3rd match, as they're starting to kind of blend together right now. So I kind of want to see a 2v2. So if you have a 2v2 team that's ready to go and ready to play, let me know, and we will get you thrown into a game that is going to be a little bit harder to organize. Well, I actually just queued for a 1v1 match. I need to cancel that immediately. There we go. Go ahead and create that game. We'll go ahead and make that on Lost Temple, as it's a well-known map by pretty much everyone out there right now. Let's go ahead and start accepting some more friend requests, seeing if we have any 2v2 players willing to play. Looks like no one is right there. Need to start seeing some more 2v2 people messaging me on fightnight.mlg@gmail.com. Go and send the real ID request right there. Gonna boot him from the lobby. Sorry for booting you guys as you join the lobby, but I need to get you out of there and get our players in. So let me go invite our cameraman and also my co-caster before we... wow, I'm just getting tons of spam messages right now. I gotta figure out how to turn those off, because that is quite annoying.
Well, at least Fight Night's taken off a little bit of popularity, and just, like you said, got to refine it from here and find out an easier way for you to manage.
We might do a little bit of a random 2v2. I'm not sure if anyone has a 2v2 team that they actually play with quite a lot, but that'll be...
Well, you got to remake the game. You put it in 1v1 anyway.
Well, you can just change the mode.
Oh, look at you.
StarCraft 2 has that. This is technology.
Look at this. I know, it advances. Who plays 2v2 anyway? I'm
not really sure. So we do have a brother team here with Atlas and his brother. I need to figure out his brother's name, though. So Atlas, if you're listening to the stream, go ahead and type your brother's name into the lobby chat. Let me try to find another team of 2 here. Was talking to DJ Wheat a little bit ago. They are starting to practice for the Team Liquid Invitational, which is going to be tomorrow. So hopefully going to be trying to get him on a little bit later. Day9 might show up. I think he is actually practicing furiously right now because he is going to be playing in that match tomorrow. Team Liquid Invitational, probably a tournament that you do not want to miss. That is going to be some great games. Some of the ghostiest StarCraft 2 players you've ever seen in that tournament. I'm not sure what time it starts tomorrow, but definitely tune into that. Go and check TL.net, as those will be some great games. Trying to find some more players here. It looks like this guy is saying he has a player, but I have 67 people online right now, so I got to sift through this giant friends list.
And in the lobby chat, Atlas went ahead and gave you his brother's tag.
Oh, okay, sweet. I will add him to my friends list and get him invited.
So far, 3 games played. 2 pretty solid games to watch. That last one was incredible. Faith versus Bowman, and really it just came down to that composition that Faith had towards the end of that fight. And really, you saw how the concave Hydras came around, but the Thors at the back there just were too much, putting out a ridiculous amount of pressure. And there were a few little micro mishaps here and there for the players, but all in all, still a pretty solid game.
One thing to note is MLG has launched their Game Battles StarCraft 2 League. Go ahead and go check that out at GameBattles.com. Looks like we do have a random person joining the game. Let's see if he has a partner to this random person. Goss, do you have a partner? Looks like he does not. Not really sure if he's even going to be respond. We're just going to go ahead and remove him from the lobby. Looks like this guy does have a partner that I'm talking to, but he is not telling me what it is, or what his name is, rather. Excuse me. Man, don't make fun of my retardedness sometimes, Keith. That's not nice.
You started out this guys by making fun of me. Why can't I?
All right, there we go. Adding this guy to the game. Going to be inviting him. Let me get his partner's name. Has he actually joined the game fully? He's reconnected. Waiting for Gobbler to join the game. Gobbler, what is your partner's name? Waiting for him to respond.
Gobbler is part of the Copper League, Division Rank 60.
We might be in for quite the match here. But the Fight Night is open to anyone, as long as it's a fun game to cast. I do have his friend now being added to my list. We are going to be inviting him to the match and getting this 2v2 started. Waiting for his partner Zero to accept this and go ahead and get this 2v2 started on Lost Temple. Looks like a double Protoss team from Atlas and his brother Dirac. And let's see if everyone is ready to go. Atlas making sure that these guys aren't watching the stream, as he does tell the players to turn off their streams. Okay, it looks like everyone has selected their races, so let's go ahead and get our first 2v2 ever of MLG's Fight Night started, as we do have the 2 Protoss brothers, Atlas and Dirac, against Gobbler, the Zerg player, and Zero, the Toss player, on Lost Temple. Keith, 2v2, me and you actually play quite a lot of Zerg Toss. And I'm interested to see if this double Protoss team is going to cheese, because if you play any other 2v2 ladder, that's pretty much all you see from these double races in the 2v2 ladder. Excuse me.
Yeah, that was, I'd like to see Atlas and Dirac come out. Go ahead, just double proxy, double rags. Just go ahead and just start out the 2v2 series with a bang. But with Protoss and Zerg on the same team, there's a lot of options you do have. And as we know, you and I played all the countless games we have. One of the biggest problems you have facing against this double toss is going to be early aggression with Zealots, if they decide to do so, and how you handle it. Are they going to split off and each one of them going to double gateway both Gobbler and Zero, or are they both going to try to go on to one opponent? It totally depends how they're going to go here, but when watching 2v2s, I imagine we're going to see a lot of cheese.
One thing I need to tell my producer is, hopefully he's listening to this, if it's okay if you don't have a little thing set up there in the top left for 2v2. I kind of threw this at you at random, but go ahead and just not put that up at all, because it will be quite confusing. But looking at these players, we do see the purple toss Dirac and his brother, the green toss, spawning in the north and west positions respectively. And we do see Gobbler the Zerg, looks like to be teal in the east spawn point, and the red toss. Wow, there's so many players here now. Here in the south spot. So which one? I think Gobbler was the copper player, but we'll have to see what happens here. We do see Darek saying it's going to be a total Brolo cost, so I'm not really sure.
He said they're the Brotoss.
Oh, okay, they're the Brotoss. Very clever. Why didn't I think of that? That's actually extremely clever. I should have thought of that. We do see a pylon there going down from Dirac. Looks like that was on 9. And also his brother doing the same thing, so we won't be seeing any cheese from these two players. Zero also throwing down a pylon, and looking at the Zerg player, he does throw down, or make that first Overlord. It is spawned. So it looks like the copper player isn't of copper quality, as he does have a standard opener here at least, so we can give him that much credit, I guess.
And I'm completely impressed. There's no cheese. We're seeing pretty standard from all 3 Brotoss. Zero's Gateway looking to be a little later, though, finally getting it down. And just taking a quick look at economy, yeah, you're seeing a little variation, a few seconds here and there for each thing, and you're seeing kind of Dirac and Atlas pulling ahead just a little bit. But now we do see gas going down for Atlas as well, so nothing too crazy happening just yet.
It looks like both Zero and Atlas are going to be going for a relatively same build. We see a double gate going down from Dirac, so a little bit of a variation there. Going back over into Gobbler's base, he's going to be throwing down that spawning pole as well as the extractor. So Keith, tell me what you know about Speedlings.
So, JP likes to make fun of me because I hate playing 2v2 because basically make Speedlings and run around the map, and that's pretty much it while I wait for JP to actually be a part of the game.
Awesome, thank you. He's waiting for the amazing force fields that come out of the almost overpowered sentries, I guess you could call them. We do see Zero's probe there in Atlas's base being chased out. Looks like he hasn't taken that under his control. That Zealot is on it now. He does just finish that relatively quickly. We do see a Cybernetics core coming down in Zero's base, and also in Atlas's base, Atlas being a little bit farther ahead. We do see now going back over into Gobbler's base that Roach Warren going down, so possibly not even going to be seeing Speedlings at all. Just a really early gas from him. Going back over into Dirac's base, he does have these 2 gateways pumping out Zealots. They're chrono boosted. He does have gas down right now, but no Cybernetics core, so he might be saving up for possibly a Stargate or even just a quick Robo Bay there, as he needs to throw down a Cybernetics core with that 1 gas up.
And now we only see one of the gateways actually producing for Dirac as well, and it's chrono boosted, and we do see 3 Zealots about to be 4, but the Roach Warden is going to finish for Gobbler, and we'll see if he's going to immediately start production, but he does have a few Zerglings coming out, and yes, it looks like he is going to go ahead and grab his natural expansion, so no Roaches coming out just yet, and a decent amount of Zealots out for Dirac.
We did see a little bit of an aggression there from Atlas trying to take down the pylon that the Gateway and Cybernetics core are down on Zero's base. He does throw down another Gateway there in Zero's base, but looks like that early aggression was pretty much nullified there by Zero. We do see a Stargate now completely warped in for Atlas's bases. My spectator does ping this, as 2v2 is a little bit hectic to cast, as I'm quickly realizing right now. We do see 2 Lings right outside of Atlas's base trying to take down that Zealot, but he is quickly going to be running away. We do see 2 Roaches now out, but a handful of Zealots there from his brother, the Brotoss, Dirac. We do see another Gateway now almost being complete in Zero's base. And what is Atlas going to be making from that Stargate? It is a Void Ray. He does not have it quite, or he does have it rallied actually for the Zerg's base, which is going to be quite a problem. We do see an evolution chamber going down, so he's going to be getting those upgrades. Looks like Gobbler is not the copper player, Keith. I'm not sure what you're referring to.
I just looked at his profile. That's all I can do. That's all I've got. But I mean, looking at it real quick, Gobbler kind of looks like he already has an idea of what's coming because he doesn't see any early aggression. All they've seen so far is a few Zealots, so they know that there's a lot of gas out there. And when it comes down to it, you know that there's going to be some air coming along. There it goes. The lair finishes immediately. Hydralisk in goes up. So he's going to have some Hydras out, and it looks like he's going to go for that Roach Hydra mix.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to get our next game lined up so we don't have too much of a delay. Looks like the Zero is going to be supply capped right now as he's trying to spawn 2 Stalkers. Going back over here, we do see that Void Ray taking out that Stalker from Zero. He's going to be easily taking that down as there's no really anti-air from Gobbler, but Dirac, his brother, sends in a couple of Zealots there. They're going to be taking out one of those Roaches, it looks like, but those Zealots are quite low. But like I said, that Void really is fighting there unopposed. There's only some Queens right now. He needs to go ahead. Oh, he does have a Hydralisk up. Let's see if he's actually making He might be... No, he's actually not creating any... Oh, he has no gas. This is why we see no Hydralisk right now coming from Gobbler. It looks like we do see Atlas taking out that natural expansion of Gobbler. We see a Queen attacking it, but oh, okay, Atlas does go back. He probably could have just finished that. Well, maybe not. He's going to finish that Queen, though, if he doesn't pull back. There is no creep right there, so he's just going to try to get as much damage in as possible. As now we see Atlas going back onto that hatchery. We see a ton of units from Dirac now coming straight towards Gobbler's base. We need to see some better macro here from Zero, his partner. He is warping in 2 more gates, putting it up to 4, but it might be too little too late. So we see a pylon coming down from Dirac right outside of the Zerg's base, and all of his forces right outside, joining that pylon relatively soon.
Things are just not looking good for Gobbler at this point, and his partner is nowhere to be seen. Once this pylon goes down for Dirac, it's just going to be way too much, and it already is. As you see these 2 Void Rays coming in, and 1 Hydra is out and getting a good amount of shots off of that Void Ray, actually getting really low as he microed a little bit, and there's another Hydra going to take it down finally, but there's still 1 up.
Yeah, he's going to be pushing in with those units from Dirac. Looks like he's easily going to be take out Gobbler right here. We do see the Protoss' forces, his partner Zeros, come in with 4 Stalkers trying to take down that Void Ray, but there's just too many units from Dirac right now. Looks like they're not going to be able to hold this push. They do focus down that Hydralisk in, but maybe they're actually going to be able to hold this as those Hydras do pop and a ton of drones are being pulled. We do see Dirac warping in a bunch more units right outside, and also another Void Ray joining the fight. He needs to pull that Void Ray back, though. He's going to die really quickly with those Hydralisks. Wow, that died so fast. It looks like the Zerg player is going to be able to defend right here. He did lose his natural expansion, but none of the other players have a natural expansion up right now, so it's really not too much of a loss.
And now we do see Zero about to finish Warpgate finally, so he will have a little bit more forces coming at this point. But looking over, we do see a robotics facility up for Atlas and a robotics bay coming in. So it looks like the brothers have decided one's just going to mass units, the other one is going to take care of the tech. But 1 Void Ray does come out. It doesn't look like he's going to be making any more.
Actually, talking to our next opponents, we will have some pro players possibly coming up next. I'm not really too positive about that, but going back into this game, we do see the team of Zero and Gobbler. They're controlling the middle of the map. We do see an expansion now going down for Atlas there. It is natural expansion. We're going to see another fight here relatively soon from from all 4 players, rather. We do see some pretty decent micro. It looks like one player is going to be controlling all of those units, a little bit of a shared control. It looks like Gobbler is going to be controlling all of his units. We do see some force fields being thrown down behind those roaches, but he needs to be pulling it back to fight all of those units against Dirac, against the Protoss, or the Brotoss brothers, excuse me. We see a little bit of lag. Looks like that was just on my end because I have about, 100 friend requests right now, just lagging the crap out of me. But looks like Zero and his partner Gobbler are going to be repelling that attack. Looks like we might see a little bit of a comeback right now, Keith.
Yeah, I think I might just piss Gobbler off whenever I said that earlier. He'd probably listen to the stream. Now he's getting angry. He's going Gosu mode here. And now we do see the Colossus come out. It is on that top ramp there, but those Stalkers easily able to get some shots in. And now you see it. He's just trying to come across and do as much damage. Now the Stalkers are being microed back, so actually some pretty decent micro coming out from Zero. Or whoever it is controlling that time mass.
That is going to be Atlas's Colossus. He was almost going to be focusing down that Zero was going to be almost focusing down the Colossus, but some decent micro from the Brotoss brothers. He's going to be throwing down a pylon there, or Dirac is going to be throwing down a pylon there at the high yield, trying to be able to warp in the units, but Zero is going to be seeing that and taking that down really, really quickly. The Zerg player does have his natural expansion back up, and looks like he does have quite a few drones. His partner Zero does have a Nexus going up at his natural expansion, and right now, if I had to pick someone who is in the lead, it's going to be the team of Gobbler and Zero, as they do have map control.
Yeah, and one thing to note is while that entire fight was going on, Gobbler was actually picking up his economy really well. As you look at the breakdown, he's not getting a lot of gas at this point, which I would think is kind of a mistake at this point, unless he's just going to mass roaches here. But we do see a push coming across. A good number of Stalkers, roaches, and a single Immortal is out.
Yeah, we do see some aggression here from Zero and his partner Gobbler. Looks like Gobbler is going to be controlling all those forces right now, microing back a little bit to take as few hits possible from those Zealots. We need to see his partner here. There is his partner. Looks like he might be attacking at the most inopportune time. He's going to have all of his forces lost. Well, maybe not. We actually see some decent force fields here from Dirac. Actually, not decent at all. He's blocking out his partner from helping him a little bit. but he is going to be warping in units since he does have 5 gateways up right now. Looks like to be off of 1 base in the natural expansion that did just come up. Wow, Atlas and his brother actually held that attack. It's actually quite impressive. That Immortal had 9 kills before it died. Wow, what a huge Immortal there. What a powerful, strong Immortal from the Brotos brothers.
A powerful, strong Immortal. But I mean, this game is really back and forth at this point, and I mean, the one thing that's kind of worrying me here, though, is looking over at Zero. His economy is definitely lacking at this point with only 26 probes out. And, you know, it looks like he was very invested into that push that they just made.
Yeah, we do see both players. Wow, we see a lone Immortal there from Zero. He needs to go ahead and pull that back, or it is going to get lost here from Darek's forces. Not too many forces. I think he's actually throwing down 2 more gates. Not enough gateways for him right now. He does have 600 gas. He needs to be throwing down some more sentries there to take up those gas, or take up that extra gas. Going back over to Gobbler's base, he is going to be going for this Roach Zergling unit composition. He does have that lair down, does have that Hydralisk down from earlier, but he's just opting not to build them. Now we see a Colossus being spawned from Atlas's robotics facility. Looks like he is going to be upgrading those ground weapons level 1. He does have 1 Void Ray, a little bit of a weird unit composition. We do see him throwing down a pylon there at their nearest Xel'Naga watchtower in the middle of the map. And now we see Gobbler going to be taking out these destructible rocks at the high yield. Going to be taking this high yield expansion, as there is no high yield right now from the Brotos brothers. So they need to be able to attack here relatively soon, but they're a little bit behind right now in the food supply, or in the food count.
And now, one thing to note is a Dark Shrine is going down for Durek right below his initial Nexus. So we're going to see a little bit of a change up there from him, it looks like. And now also a Phoenix coming in across from Atlas. So looks like they're going to be mixing in a few different units in their composition as another Colossus is going to come out. But right now, looking over at Zero and Gobbler, they do have a decent amount of units with the Hydras coming in from Gobbler as well. But he is sitting really high on minerals at this point as he is population capped once again.
You know, sometimes I really question if people are actually stream watching, because as soon as you said Dark Templar Shrine, I saw an Overlord being warped in there from Gobbler. So, yeah, if you're watching the stream, be a good sport and close that. Looks like we do have a professional level match coming up next here, right after this match. So keep watching here on MLG's first Fright Night. Wow, a little bit of lag on my end. As about 400 people message me. We do see an observer out from Zero as well. They got to be stream watching. There's no way that they just randomly threw the. They definitely haven't seen that DT tower. But we do see some aggression here. Wow, a ton of Zealots.
Oh, wow.
With charge. Looks like he might be able to trap Gobbler's forces here. His partner is going to be a little bit late. Not sure why he attacked right there. Now
it's a little bit of a miscue from them two, but now finally coming together. That is a lot of Zealots, though, as they're coming across. And now you see it, that Colossus is going to go ahead and take off, climb the cliff, and it looks like he's going to go for some drone kills.
Looks like he's actually just going to be standing there. He needs to get in that fight, man. Those Roaches, Stalkers of the Gobbler and Zero are just doing so much damage on the Brotos brothers. Oh, and here are the DTs, but as they might be stream watching, or they might just be good players and expect some DTs at that time. They do go down relatively soon, and that Colossus is going to fall. Looks like we might see possibly a GG here, as Zero and Gobbler might just be able to push across the map. I don't know why I'm saying that, because they are probably stream watching as I do say that. We'll have to see if they move across the map. And of course, there they go across the map. So
yeah, that was like 8 DTs that just ran right into, you know, a probe and an overseer and whatnot. Okay, good. Well, actually, the overseer's just chilling in Gobbler's base, so
it's okay. He's going to go and go back and click on that and bring it into his force, because you have told him about it. But now we see Direct spawning with some actually decent force fields here, splitting the forces of Gobbler and Zero. But just too many. Wow, I think I saw a Phoenix come in there and just die about instantly from those Stalkers. Looks like the Brotos brothers probably going to be saying GG here, as there's just too many forces from Gobbler and his partner Zero.
I mean, he was fully invested with that DT push, and it just nothing came of it. But also that little bit of a miscue of the timing, where you know, one brother went in without the other, just kind of looked like it's kind of the nail in the coffin. But of course, having deep vision for those DTs was probably the end all be all.
Yeah, I mean those DTs could have done a ton of damage. I'm not actually sure if they received a speed buff. I actually don't remember looking at the patch change, but I remember someone saying that on the TL forum. So either thank you for making me look smart, or thank you for making me look like a complete idiot. But going back to the game, we do see Gobbler and Zero massing up their forces here. Looks like just a pretty much what you expect, army composition. Couple Colossus, couple of Immortals, a ton of Stalkers, ton of Lings, ton of Roaches. Just pretty much your standard units. We do have this high yield expansion down from Atlas. Wow, looks like he's going to make all of his units dance right outside their base. We do see a ton of probes being transferred from the main there to the high yield. But Zero and Gobbler are going to be attacking. Wow, we actually might see an attack here from the Brotos brothers. Looks like he has a ton of Zealots and DTs, but just too many Stalkers and some actually pretty good force fields from, I'm not actually sure who those are, but whoever it was probably just won the game 4-0 in Gobbler.
And one thing to note is Gobbler has 3,000 minerals and 1,000 gas, just in case, things go wrong.
Awesome. Maybe it's one person just playing both races with the other guy just, I don't know. I'm not really sure. We do see only one person controlling all of the units of Zero and Gobbler, though. While we see Atlas come out with these two lone sentries trying to block off that high yield. As he has actually almost a ton of probes there, almost all of his probes from his main expansion, doing a ton of mining there. But Gobbler is going to scout that, and now possibly seeing another attack here. Wow, we see some hatcheries being spawned all across the map right now. A little bit of desperation there. He's just completely overwhelmed by his mineral count. Wondering why Zero and Gobbler do not just end the game right now.
Yeah, they're just being absurd at this point. What's that, 8 hatcheries going down in the middle of the map?
Something like that. Yeah, eight hatcheries, plus a Nidus being complete. Why do you need a Nidus when you have hatcheries all over the middle of the map? So, yeah, we might actually be leaving this game here relatively soon. It looks like it is kind of over, but I guess we'll stick around for a little bit. They're possibly going to just be getting up to 200. What do you see a ton?
No, this guy's just making Nexus in the middle of the map now, too. They're not doing anything.
All right, so if, I don't know. Keith, do you want to stay in or keep casting there? So you want to get on to our next pro match?
If we got a good game set up, let's go.
All right, so we're going to go and we can't actually talk to these players, but we're just going to go ahead and hopefully my spectator is watching. I'm going to wait for him to leave the game first from here because, yeah, the Gobbler and Zero, this game's over. They need to push. There's no reason.
Yeah, they know we're going to leave. That's right.
Well, okay, well, spectator, go ahead and just leave right now. Oh, well, maybe they're going to be pushing right here. Nope. We could just wait for a GG, I guess. It looks like they're going to be pushing maybe.
It just looks like he's doing a little dance there.
I feel bad just leaving a game in the middle of it, but I think that's what I'm going to do, because this is a little bit ridiculous. So, there we go. Leaving that game. Going to get our next match set up between QXC, the Terran player, and Zelnek, the Zerg player. We've seen a lot of TVZ, actually, in the 1v1s tonight. So let me go ahead and get this match started. What map have we not seen tonight, Keith? Maybe some Incineration?
Incineration? Yeah.
We'll throw it on Incineration Zone. I'm not sure how the pro community feels about this map, but they're going to have to play it. So let me go ahead and get the professional players invited here. Looks like Zelnik is actually in a game. We might have to wait. Hey, are you ready? Can you leave that game? So we're going to wait for a response from Zelnik. See if QXC is waiting as I scroll down the list. Extremely slow. Trying to find QXC's name. So yeah, sorry for leaving that last match, but I mean, you could tell those guys were obviously playing around, so we didn't really want to stick around for that.
Not at all. So, I mean, JP, you keep making all these comments, they're just going to have to play it. I think this power is going to your head. You're picking the people, you're picking the maps, it's too much power for you.
Too much power. Well, we got to keep Fight Night going on. We are actually in hour 2 of Fight Night now, with about 45 minutes left. Wow, and as I relog, just a ton of messages come right when I relog. Hopefully not going to lag me out here as I'm trying to accept these friend requests. So Keith, also, why don't you let people know what Game Battles is and how they can get involved on the StarCraft ladder there as I try to get this next match set up.
So if you would like to be involved with Fight Night, I guess, is what we're going to stick with here. game
Yeah,
battles?
yeah. Game battles is actually completely opposite.
Oh,
from,
yeah, that's
Fight
right.
Night, but yeah, we do
I
have a
can't
league
do
up on game battles.
You're talking to the guy that hasn't had to do any sponsor work in like 10 years here. why do you got to bring up game battles?
Awesome.
But no, getting involved with game battles, it's an online league where tons of games are played, and just go check out gamebattles.com where you can actually see what's going on. Of course, that is sponsored by Major League Gaming, where JP and I both go to the live events. Well, JP goes about the live events, and there's a lot of games being played, and they're trying to do some great things going on. And just head over there to the website, and you'll be able to check in and see exactly how you can get involved with all the various games if you're not only a StarCraft player, but also they'll have information from Halo and all the games that are played live at these events.
Yeah, StarCraft actually just being added relatively soon. We do see Zelnik now joining the game. Looks like both of our players here. It's about 10-15. Let's go ahead and make this a best-of-3 match just because we do have two great players. We need to see some great matches. After that last 2v2 was just kind of a dull and boring game. We did see about 8 hatcheries there in the middle of the map, so a little bit of a disappointment. We're now waiting for Zelnik to join. Keith, what are you talking about? I'm trying to read what you're saying in game, but I have no idea what you're saying.
Here's something else, JP. Just put on the spot. Appreciate that.
Waiting for Zelnik to join the game. Still pending. Not really sure. You joining? You can't seem to join. Looks like he is going to be relogging. And now it is telling me that Noel is not online. So that's a little bit interesting.
You probably just blew up Battle.net. The amount of requests and messages going through, you just destroyed it. You're doing stress tests for him already. Look.
Waiting. Zelnik is actually requesting a different map, but as Keith was saying, I am the master here, so I'm gonna just invite him back again and see if he accepts. As this is going to be a best-of-3 series here between Zelnik and QXC, both relatively well-known players. QXC is actually really well-known as playing a Terran. He's been in a couple tournaments that I've watched. I think he was in the USA versus Canada tournaments that Rise casted. Waiting for Zelnik to go ahead and pick his race. He did pick his color, I think. You guys ready? Waiting for Zelnik to go ahead and pick Zerg, as he does play Zerg. There we go.
Yep.
And he does pick the blue color, as I told him.
Look at you, just
well, I mean, honestly, who wants to see maroon and red on a map? I mean, that's going to be a little bit hard to see. But we're going to go and get this match started here on Incineration Zone. I think this might be the first time I've ever seen this map casted. So this will be interesting to see, as I can't connect to Battle.net because it is telling me that BNet may be temporarily unavailable or my internet connection may be down. So yeah, I just got dropped. Looks like I have too many friends. You got to try to get that game up as fast as possible right now. All right, so yeah, our producers are telling me that they also did just get dropped. So yeah, let me go ahead and get this game up as fast as possible and get these players back into it. A little bit of a hiccup just now, but it won't take too long to go ahead and get back into this match. So yeah, a little bit of a dead air right now. We are getting these players back into the matchup, trying to find QXC. Did he log off? Or am I...
It looks like everyone got dropped. It looks like it was... Yeah.
Oh, okay. It looks like everyone on Battle.net got dropped, so, yeah.
Yeah, just give these players a couple minutes. I'm sure they'll log right back in and we'll get this started.
Zelnik is actually joining the game right now. I do not see QXC waiting for him to log back in. Our producers are all...
There he is.
Okay, there's QXC. All we need now is our spectator and producer to go ahead and join the match. Looks like they're going to be scrambling to get online right now. Going to go ahead and wait for them. Possibly going to be getting maybe DJ Wheat here on in a little bit, waiting to see if he's going to still be practicing for that Team Liquid Invitational tomorrow. Let me go ahead and message him. All right, my producers are telling me that they are online. Let me go ahead and find them. There we go. Going to go ahead and invite them to the game and get this match started. Waiting for them to go ahead and accept that invite. I think they did. It's just loading. All right, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and set myself to referee just in case I need to talk to the players for any reason. So let me ask if the players are ready.
Luck good, fun have.
Luck good, fun have. Let's get this match started there. As Zelnik does say that rather unique message there to start. QXC saying he is ready, and also good luck, have fun as well. So here we are on Incineration Zone. I don't think I've ever actually played a 1v1 on this map, Keith.
Well, I mean, it's a very close map, but not only that, there's a lot of destructible rocks. And as you see, there's only those two starting positions right in the 9 o'clock and 6 o'clock position. And we do have QXC spawning in that 6 and Zelnik spawning on the 9. Now, one thing to note is that Overlord will get across the map pretty quickly, get an early scout. But this map is pretty famous for some early cheese. As you see, coming out of QXC's base to the north, you go through this narrow choke, and it's just a lot of narrow chokes, and you see there's grass there blocking line of sight, and that only one Xel'Naga watchtower, which is actually across the ravine there on the other side. And now to the west of QXC's base and the south of Zelnik's base, you see those destructible rocks that lead into an expansion that link both the bases there as well, and also that high yield right in the middle of the map.
All right, so it looks like this map is actually spawning the players relatively close to each other. A little bit of a Steps of War type setup. Going back over into QXC's base, while we see it, a Rax being built first before any depots. Possibly going to be seeing gas here relatively soon up for QXC. Probably going to be seeing a little bit of an early Reaper harass. And Zelnik doesn't look like he's sending out a drone, so he might be caught off guard a little bit. He is going to be going for what looks like a standard 15 pull. He's up to 14 right now. Going to be seeing if he goes for an early expansion or not. Keith, what do you think about the early expansion builds on this map for Zerg?
I see. It's such a close map. If you go for that early expansion, you can pretty much guarantee that Terran is going to get a scout on it and see it coming and go with some form of early aggression. And with such a close map, I don't think you'll really have the time to react. I mean, as you see now, that Rax is already finishing, and down goes the Tech Lab, so things are already going to be getting a little rocky as you see that Zelnik's spawning pool is not even halfway finished at this point.
Zelnik does know what is going on as a drone has entered QXC's base. He sees everything. He sees that orbital command almost complete there. He's going to do a little bit of harassment on those drones, which is actually a pretty smart idea because, of course, QXC did have to cut drones there with this fast Reaper build. There goes the Mule. It's going to be able to catch him up a little bit, but wow. Also, one interesting thing to note is that we do not even see a supply coming down, or a supply depot coming down from QXC. We see a bunker right outside of the ramp of Zelnik. He is going to be harassing that a little bit, trying to take as many shots as possible there with those two drones as his pull is now complete. Looks like he is spawning a couple lings, but looks like he is going to be waiting for this Reaper to stream across the map right now, do a little bit of harassment, and then just back up into that bunker and just sit there as much or as little as possible, trying to kill those Zerglings there. Right outside the bunker, he's probably just going to be able to micro the Zerglings relatively easy right now.
Yeah, QXC has to be a little timid here as he is on creep, and those Zerglings do get that movement speed bonus, and you see it getting off a few shots onto the Reaper, so it's a little dangerous when you have to go across the creep. But as you see, he's just kind of going back and forth, and now the Queen is out, so that Reaper really doesn't have much room to run around inside of Zelnik's base.
We do see that metabolic boost being upgraded for Zelnik, making his Zerglings much, much faster. He does have that Queen also trying to do a little bit of harassment as he can attack those Reapers from range, but he's off creep right now. Wow. Actually, Zelnik playing relatively well. He's pulling that creep back, or that Queen back as soon as he gets 25 larva. It looks like he should be spewing that. Yeah, actually some great play here from Zelnik, making sure that Queen is always doing work. QXC trying to micro his Reapers as much as possible. Going back into his base, we do see that Rax now with a Tech Lab on it as well. Or, of course, the Tech Lab's on there. That's from his before. But he's going to be researching the Nitro Packs is what I meant to say. We see another Rax also coming up. And he also is trying to get some more SCVs as his economy was hurt by such an early Reaper contain on this map.
So looking at the Nitro Packs being researched, it does look like we're going to see some sort of mass Reaper harass, but Speedlings are going to be done in just a moment here, and that could prove trouble as he does have 3 Reapers in that bunker and only 1 SCV. So if he pulls the Queen out and pushes in, it looks like he has not that many Lings at this point. I'll actually look down to the south side of Zelnik's base. I was wondering where the Lings went. It looks like he's actually going to bust through those rocks that we were talking about earlier and maybe make a dive for his opponent's base, who only has those 2 racks, and both of those Reapers are being rallied towards that bunker. Oh, that SCV is just going to get dominated as QXC is going to see that Zergling speed has finished, but he's only seeing about 8 Zerglings. That's only what Zelnik is allowing him to see, as the rest of his Lings are at the backside of his base, breaking through those rocks.
We do see that lair being completed for Zelnik right now. He's going to be spawning more drones now. One thing to note is that it looks like we are going to be seeing some mass Reapers from QXC, as he has 3 racks right now with 3 tech labs as well, and another racks in production. Those destructible rocks are reaching almost 0 HP, as they have about 200 right now in the back of Zelnik's base, which could really prove vital for attack. Wow, that queen is actually about to die there in the front of Zelnik's base. He's microing those Reapers quite well. He is going to die. Wow, and that is huge right now for QXC, taking down the only queen from Zelnik, as he is going to be building another one. But you might see a little bit more aggression from QXC right now, as he is going to be able to pump as many Reapers as he wants.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about QXC's positioning on that bunker. You saw him jumping up and down that cliff. That bunker's just in range to hit those Zerglings as they try to run down, but maybe a little bit of a mistake from QXC, as those Reapers are going to go down to Speedlings. 1 is left, and he has no Reapers left in the bunker at this point.
Yeah, he actually did do some pretty good micro there from Zelnik, trying to surround those Reapers as much as possible. But there are 2 more Reapers coming in, and now we see that Hydralisk being now complete. There are only 1 Hydralisk with 2 more in production. Didn't even see the Hydralisk in. Wow, actually another great play from Zelnik, hiding that Hydralisk in the southern part of his base with that Overlord spewing creep. So that's actually some great utilization of that ability from the Overlords. Going back into QXC's base, he is just going to be continuing to make Reapers, just a ton of Reapers now. 4 racks. He is actually supply capped right now, but he does notice, at least I think that he noticed, that this destructible, yes, he does see that those destructible rocks are down in the back of Zelnik's base, but Zelnik is actually looking like he's in a better position right now with this transition into Hydralisk.
Now, we do actually see some Marauders being made as well. 2 Marauders coming out of that front racks. Yes, it looks like he is transitioning a few Marauders into his army composition. We do see that first one finishing now, but Concussive Shells is not being researched at this point, as all these Reapers and Marauders coming out is causing QXC to be a little low on gas, but we do see him getting pretty high on minerals and trying to get out some units.
Wow, one thing to note right there is that a little bit of an aggressive move from QXC, jumping up with that cliff and just met all of the Hydras there, taking out a ton of Reapers there. We see a little bit more of an aggressive move here from Zelnik, moving into that southwest expansion. Looks like he's possibly going to be taking down these destructible rocks. We see a bunker now coming up from QXC. He does see these Lings now, or at least he sees the rocks being attacked. He needs to start massing as many Marauders as possible to defend against these Hydralisks.
Now, taking a look down there, yeah, he is getting just a barely little bit of vision. The rocks are down at this point, and nothing is back there. This might be trouble. Now we see the Marauders finally coming around. That bunker is going to go down with very little resistance, as you see 2 more bunkers being created, as only about, it looks like, 8 Marauders versus this huge force coming in from Zelnik. And there you see the SCVs of QXC coming across and trying to help out with the fight, as that is a lot of units, and things are not looking good for QXC at this point.
Some great unit control there from Zelnik, microing those Hydras back and trying to take as little bit of damage from those SCVs, as we kind of see the last hope here from QXC. Those Marauders actually doing some pretty good micro there, trying to focus down those roaches there in the front. Stim is actually only halfway complete. Excuse me. We do see that Concussive Shells research looks to be about 95%, and QXC might actually completely hold this attack off here from Zelnik, with only a little bit of Hydras actually reinforcing his main force.
Yeah, but one thing to note, that QXC is down to 15 Harvesters at this point after having to sacrifice so many in that fight. And now we see the last 2 Hydralisks being brought down, but also Zelnik finishes a hatchery at that southwest expansion there, so he's going to be right outside his opponent's door with an expansion, and just a random Hydralisk coming in there and kind of sacrificing himself there, Kamikaze.
He got a little bit lost. He wasn't really sure where he was supposed to be, but it doesn't really matter too much, as he does spawn a ton more Hydralisks. They're reinforcing his main force with a couple of Lings. QXC needs to start playing a little bit more defensive and needs to get an expansion up, where he's going to fall behind the Zerg player, as he does have another expansion up right now. So QXC needs to make a decision. He needs to decide if he's going to go all in. He does have 5 Raxes up now, only spawning 1 Marauder from each of them. He does have that Stim upgrade complete, as well as the Concussive Shells, and looks like no expansion or no command center is being built, so possibly going to be seeing a little bit of a more aggressive play here from QXC.
And I mean, now you're seeing it with this expansion up for Zelnik. He's going to slowly start pulling ahead, and all the while he's still making a decent amount of units. And also looking over at the resources of QXC, it's just not looking good. He has all these racks, but he's not even able to pump out from each of them. But it looks like he is just going to stick with Mass Marauders at this point, having both concussive shells and stim pack ready to go.
Yeah, he did send out an SCV there and see that Zelnik did have a ton of Hydralisks. Zelnik actually pulling those Hydras back and only leaving one there. He's going to be spewing creep with that with those Overlords right outside of the ramp of QXE, which is really smart, allowing his micros to, or his Hydras, to move a lot faster as they do move faster, or all Zerg units do move faster on creep. Just seeing a ton of Marauders continue to being built from QXC, and Zelnik is just making more Hydras as well, so it'll be interesting to see when both players decide to attack right now, and which one actually does it first.
And actually seeing some pretty impressive Reaper micros. He's using those Reapers out of that bunker still outside Zelnik's base to come in every once in a while and try to just put out a little damage onto his economy. But now you see Zelnik making a move up that ramp, and here we go, and you see those two bunkers positioned right there on the west side of QXC's base, and just a ton of Marauders over on that side.
Yeah, Zelnik is kind of trying to decide if he should attack right now. He's reinforcing with a little bit more, but he does have that Overlord spewing creep there on top of the ramp, which is going to allow him to be able to retreat and advance a little bit quicker. A little bit of an aggressive move from QXC right there as he did move up a little bit, trying to snipe as much Hydralisk as he can. Looks like he's going to be splitting those forces, making a great concave with those Marauders, and Zelnik doing the same. Both players just did a standoff right here. There we go. Looks like Zelnik is going to be the first one to commit. Waiting for the stim here from QXC. Looks like some actually pretty decent play there, falling back to those bunkers. Wow, and there's the stim. Looks like he wasted the first couple of seconds with that stim, and he's going to be paying for it as those Hydras are just destroying those Marauders right now. He pulls back, trying to get as many Marauders into those bunkers, pulling out some SCVs now, trying to repair those bunkers, but looks like Zelnik is just going to be doing too much damage with all of those Hydralisks, and quite possibly going to be seeing a GG here from QXC. And there it is, guys.
Game.
Yeah, Zelnik playing really well, defending an early Reaper rush with only a couple of Lings and a Queen, even losing that first Queen, and then he just decided to come back and win the match with Hydras. So that is Zelnik taking the first match of QXC here in this best of 3.
And now, after watching that game, QXC just put a lot of resources into getting so many Reapers out so early, and he didn't really get as much damage done as he would have liked, I don't think. His economy was so hurt at that point, and then he turns around and tries to get Marauders out, and everything was just a little late. And once Zelnik made that little bit of a push, was able to kill off SCVs, he takes an expansion and just, basically makes enough units to hold off QXC, and just once his economy kicks in, it's way too much.
All right, and now we get to play the fun game of finding these people on my friends list. So give me a second as we go and get this second matchup started in this best of 3 series. Looks like I've got both players now waiting for a producer to accept that. Looking for actually QXC, as I don't have him, as my game just looks like it locked up on me with too many friends.
He's joining the game right now, actually. He is in the game and ready to go. Just need to move people around once you unlock, so.
Yeah, I might have to Control-Delete out of that. Looks like I am going to. Is StarCraft 2 is used? Yeah, I just crashed completely. StarCraft 2 was up to about 2 gigs of RAM usage there, which is pretty ridiculous. So I'm going to go ahead and be restarting that and trying to get that game back as much as possible. Probably should have restarted a little bit earlier before we got into this best of 3. But no worry, we'll be having that game relatively soon here, as I am now back online, going to be inviting these players. I think our second match is going to be played on Scrap Station, so I will be getting that game up relatively soon. Looks like we have about 502 viewers right now, so thanks everyone for sticking it out and kind of tuning into our beta cast of the MLG Fight Night, and thanks to Keith for kind of coming out of nowhere and just helping me cast this match.
Hey, no problem. Gotta get to work in a little bit too. It's gonna be an exciting night.
Awesome. Awesome. That sounds horrible, man. Why would you cast right before?
Why not? You know what? I'm a nice guy, unlike yourself, JP.
Wow. A little bit of low blow there from my co-caster, Keith. Wow. Are you guys still in that match? I'm not really...
Yes.
How can I join if I
Zelnik got host.
Oh, okay. Let me
we
message
can just
him.
leave. Or well, he said bathroom real quick, so he's going to be back in just a minute. We'll get him to invite you, and then he'll just be host as long as that is not a problem.
All right, waiting. I guess we're waiting for Zelnik to actually get out of the restroom. Yeah, is the producer in there as well as QXC?
Correct.
All right, so yeah, we're just gonna be waiting for Zelnik to get back from the restroom, as says I am. Okay, it looks like he is back trying to invite me. Try now. Waiting for this invite from Zelnik. Looks like we have about 30 minutes left. This might not be our last match. I have someone who I did promise would get his 15 minutes of fame tonight. I have to relog now as Zelnik saying that it was still in a game from him. Not really sure what happened there. I am now relogged, waiting for an invite from Zelnik, trying to get into this next matchup. Wow, that invite just froze me again. Almost. There we go. As I am now loading into the map. All right, looks like we're good to go here on Scrap Station with QXC versus Zelnik, promoting me to lobby host. Such a nice guy, Zelnik. We're going to go and get this match started. So here we go. Zelnik against QXC. Zelnik now 1-up in the series, 1-0 over QXC, the Terran player, now on our second map, Scrap Station. Now, Keith, what do you know about Scrap Station in these TVZ matchup?
Well, one thing to note right away is a lot more distance between the two players on the natural run compared to Incineration Zone, where you're just so close. Now, you do have those destructible rocks right outside your ramp, but you have to destroy 2 of them to actually get a closer route to your opponent's base. So it really comes down to what QXC decides to do in this opener. And as you see in game, QXC Reaper on Incineration Zone is a big no-no.
Yeah, it looks like QSC had not even played that map, so that's pretty interesting that we kind of did the first ever Incineration Zones shoutcast with these players never actually playing on it before, and Zelnik saying that he avoids that map like the plague. So both players relatively happy with me picking that as the first map. But going back into the game, we do see QXC, the purple Terran, spawning at the east spawn point, and Zelnik, the yellow Zerg, spawning at the west spawn point. Now, QXC is going to be building that depot first, so no Reaper harassment, at least no early Reaper harassment from the Terran player here. We do see Zelnik's Overlord now almost to QXC's base, so he's going to be scouting here soon. He also does have his Overlord, his second Overlord up, and also going to be going, probably getting up to 15 drones and throwing down that spawning pool, or maybe opting for a hatchery. We'll have to see what he decides to do. There's the racks from QXC. Going to be waiting on that gas as well, and probably going to be getting his orbital command as well up right after that. So pretty standard stuff right now from the Terran player. Looks like Zelnik is going to be sending this drone to his natural expansion, possibly checking for an early rush, but looks like he is going to be throwing down a hatchery. There it is at the natural expansion of Zelnik's base. And QXC might spot this as he does have an SCV now right outside of his base. Looks like it's actually rallied straight to the expansion point as QXC knows what to look for with this initial scout.
And there we see QXC's going to spy the early hatchery and knows exactly what's going on. Rax is going to finish right here in this moment. And as you see, Zelnik's Overlord still in his base, and he's going to be getting a Marine out. That might be a little close. No, it looks like he should be able to get that out of there before that finishes and comes across. But now with Zelnik kind of with this early advantage, getting that early hatchery down, but a spawning pool not even halfway finished. We'll have to see if, yeah, there we see it. Marines are coming out and rallied over towards that expansion with a bunker going down at Zelnik's natural.
Wow, the Marine actually lost a little bit of travel time there, taking a couple shots at that drone that Zelnik is using to scout QXC's base. But hopefully it will get over there in time. The spawning pool looks to be about 90% done in Zelnik's base. That bunker is going to be done with 2 drones now attacking. It looks like they're going to be moving over to that SCV. Oh, he needs to get that SCV out of there. Oh, it is stuck. No. QXC losing that SCV, which puts him down, puts him behind a little bit as he cannot repair that bunker. But now we see he is sending another SCV from his base as well. These 2 Marines. That Marine is about to hit that bunker. But one thing to note is that spawning pool is complete, and we do have 4 lings now. Oh man, he could have surrounded that Marine, but it does get into that bunker. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to kill all 6 of those lings out in that bunker. It looks like that bunker is going to fall as it reaches about 50 HP, and it is. Oh wow, he's actually salvaging it. pulling out that Marine. Oh, and I'm not sure if he got that salvage. Did he get the salvage?
I did not believe he got the salvage off there. But now you see he's going to go ahead and wall off. We do have a factory finishing now with a reactor going down at that barracks. So we'll have to see if he's going to swap that over, maybe get out a little Hellion harass, as he knows that with that second hatchery already finished and nothing he can do about it at this point, things are going to start turning in the favor of Zelnik.
Yeah, Zelnik is going to be sending those Lings across, and only 2 Marine. He is going to be. That's actually really smart from QXC, leading those Zerglings away, waiting and trying to get as much time, trying to buy as much time for these 2 Hellions to pop out of that factory. Looks like they are going to pop out just in time. But one thing to note is that there's 8 Lings with only 2 Hellions. We're going to have to see some great micro here from QXC. As now, there we go. They have a lot of room to work with right outside of the front of his base, and wow, looks like he's going to be killing all those Lings here. Some pretty great Hellion micro from the Terran player, and there's the last. There it goes. Wow, some actually great play there. 4 kills apiece on those 2 Hellions right there for QXC.
And now, as you see, he's going to actually get a Spine Crawler right in the middle of his main resources and move his other Spine Crawler around, as he does not even have a Roach Warren started yet. So does not want to make any more Lings, as they are basically useless against a good player with micro on their Hellions.
He does have his natural expansion up, almost fully operational. He does have a queen there, but he does also have a queen as natural. He's going to be getting that lair, trying to get as many kills with these Hellions. Looks like he's gotten about 3 kills right now. That queen is going to be defending. Actually, some great usage of those Hellions. He does pick up that Spine Crawler, and now Spine Crawlers do take 12 seconds to burrow now, so he's going to get a little bit extra shots there. I'm not really sure why that Spine Crawler was moved. He should have waited until those Hellions were completely out. And there's Keith lagging the stream a little bit, but no worry, as he is back into the game. Now this Hellion is in the main of Zelnik. Looks like he's going to outmaneuver that queen, pulling back to the back, but he does have a Spine Crawler there in the middle of his peon line, and QXC does see this, trying to find the best point of entry, and he doesn't find it as it gets poked out there right by the Spine Crawler. And now we see QXC taking his natural expansion with a command center already built, waiting for it to land. And we also see 2 Vikings coming now from the Terran player.
And one thing to note is also he's made those couple of Hellions, and he's hoping that Zelnik's going to transition into Roaches, and which you see that Roach Warren going down. I don't believe he did not get sight of that with that Hellion, but you see these Marauders coming out, which are just fantastic against Roaches, and he's going to use these Vikings and just keep this pressure up. Keep trying to get a little bit of a harass onto Zelnik and just try to push him a little bit behind.
We do see a Hydraliston and a Roach Warren being built from Zelnik, and now we see, of course, this Overseer. Wow, a little bit of a blunder there, although I'm not really sure if Zelnik could really anticipated these Vikings being complete, so he does lose that Overseer, which is going to cost him a little bit, but not too much. He is also making that Hydraliston is almost complete, but it looks like QXC might be able to snipe a little bit. Maybe not, as that Queen is going to be... Okay, there's one Overlord that's definitely going to die for sure. His Overlord speed is not complete. There it goes. 1 kill for those Vikings. 2 kills, excuse me. Going now over towards this. He might actually try to land and snipe that Creep Tumor. There he goes. Looks like he is going to, kill that Creep Tumor, which is a huge, huge blow, as any Zerg player will tell you. And he might actually be able to snipe this other Overlord there, as that Queen... Actually, maybe not. It looks like he just rallied it to the back of that base. Going back over into the main of QXC, he is making that medevac, as well as a ton of Marauders. And he also does have his expansion up, fully operational, with a ton of SCVs there. So QXC is actually having some great transitions with that early Hellion micro, and also this, even though he actually had that mishap of the bunker dying with only 1 Marine in it very early on.
And now we see a reactor going down on that factory, so it looks like he might bring some more Hellions back into it, because with those Vikings, he did see those Hydralisks finished and coming across towards those Vikings. So now we're just seeing he's transitioning through this game very well, and we're seeing another Rags going down. Actually, 2 more Rags going to be put down. So, and an Engineering Bay is going to go ahead and start researching Infantry Weapons Level 1. So right now, QXC, even though earlier on it looked like things might have got a little rocky, it looks like he's making a great comeback so far.
And here we see it, a Baneling nest going down for the Zerg player Zelnik, about 70%, 60% done. He's going to be, I guess, using that against the Marauders. He might actually try to break the choke here for QXC relatively soon. We see that factory complete, and actually with a reactor on it, switching with that Rax, he's going to be making Marines, which hopefully he's not listening to the stream, because he does know that, or if he was, he would know about these Banelings being produced here relatively soon from Zelnik.
And now we do have a couple of medevacs coming out as well. And now we see it, Zelnik expanding once again right there on that third position, very close to the center of the map. And really, it's going to come down to in just a moment how many Marines he does make out. And we do see actually Armor 1 being evolved for Zelnik there in another evolution chamber. 2 more evolution chambers going down. So it looks like he's going to be ready for just about anything.
Yeah, he is playing quite aggressive here, taking another expansion, like you just said. Also taking the only Xel'Naga watch, or one of 2 Xel'Naga watchtowers. Excuse me.
We have a drop. Oh, we have a huge drop coming on the right side.
Yeah, a huge drop from QXC with really no forces from Zelnik. He is going to be taking down that evolution chamber relatively quickly. Some great unit control. He's going to be sniping down this Roachborn. He might actually just leave as soon as he takes that down, as there's really no. Yep, there he goes, loading back up. Damage is done. You need to get those out of there really quick, though. Those Hydras do have quite a long range, 6 attack range with that upgrade, and he does get them out without losing, it looks like without even losing 1 unit, including those medevacs. So pretty great snipe there. He took about an evolution chamber, and I think he took a few drones with him. So an effective attack, but it really didn't do too much in hindsight.
Now, he got the Roachborn down, but the Roachborn's already almost finished. Nothing else really coming, but now we see him moving out with that large force of Marauders and just a couple Marines. And it looks like he is supply capped right now, and he's going to go ahead with a push.
Yeah, he is going to be seeing this this extra expansion from Zelnik. He's probably going to be able to take that down relatively easy, as there's only 1 lone Roach to defend, and there goes the hatchery going down. We do see him now. We do see Zelnik looking like he's going to be preparing for this attack. He has actually quite a few Roaches and quite a few Hydras. He could probably actually beat QXC here in a fight as he rushes towards that fallen expansion. He's going to be killing that lone Marine who just got left behind, a little bit upset. But now we see a stem from QXC. We're going to see a fight here now with the Roaches in front. Looks like QXC is actually winning this fight right now, taking all of those Roaches down, and now he's going to be fighting these Hydras. Wow, actually quite an even fight right now. Can't really tell who's going to be pulling ahead. Looks like, I'm not even sure, Keith. I can't even call this so close.
7 Marauders, and there we go. 7 Marauders finally come through. It's that many medevacs. I mean, really, at the end, there's so many medevacs, and such a close fight was absolutely huge.
And now, if you do look at the ramp of the main of Zelnik, you do see those Banelings being spawned, as he has about 8 Banelings. Looks like Zelnik has no idea, but he is sniping some Overlords, but it's okay because Zelnik has overproduced some Overlords to make sure he does not get supply capped from that annoying harassment with those Vikings. We now see another command center complete there right above the ramp of that expansion there, about mid-map. We see a ton of Banelings. Holy crap. Almost 24 Banelings now from Zelnik, warping, making even more now. Looks like he's just gonna try to break QXC's Marauder army with just mass Banelings. Oh wow, what a scan! It looks like he is map hacking or something with that scan. Just going right on top of the entire force of Zelnik. He is now completely aware of what is going on.
And now it looks like the QXC is gonna opt to bust through the rocks on the right side there, but I think Zelnik's ready for him. He's just going to go ahead and bust his rocks as well. And you see him moving those spine crawlers up, maybe try to get a good concave. But that is a lot of Banelings.
That is a ton of Banelings. He even has them split into 2 groups. Wow, he's actually going to set up probably attack here on both sides of his expansion, maybe baiting with these Hydras. He needs to move that spine crawler back there, as it is just kind of out there in the middle with no units around it. Looks like we see some aggression here from QXC. There's the stem, stemming in. Kind of a little bit of an early stem there, but not too much to worry, as he does have quite a few medevacs. Look at Zelnik baiting him with this small Hydra army there in the gas. That would actually be a great attack. And QXC not going to fall for it. He's going to be falling back. Just taking this new expansion that he just put down, putting down a planetary fortress. Actually, he does actually have it looks like 5 racks, done right now. He's also continuing to harass these Overlords of Zelnik with those Vikings there at the northern island. And wondering why QXC actually did not attack right there. He put up a sensor tower, which you really don't see too often from Terran players, right in the middle to make sure that the Zerg player does not sneak across that little connecting, area between the 2 bases. And now we see Zelnik going back down, trying to reclaim this expansion that QXC took out relatively soon.
Well, see, the thing is, with QXC having that third expansion basically up and running at this point, he knows where he has Zelnik at this point, and he doesn't really want to try to risk anything. But here we see this is going to be a huge fight that SCB is running for its life, and one Marauder kind of coming out being a little too aggressive.
Look at those Banelings.
This Planetary Fortress might actually prove to be a pretty good addition. Couple kills there for it, as it looks like Zelnik's just going to go ahead and pull back. But right now, QXC does have that economic advantage.
Yeah, looks like Zelnik was a little bit scared by that Planetary Fortress. We'll have to see if does he have a Spire up anywhere. It does not look like he does, as Corruptors actually cannot take over buildings anymore, as that was changed. So that's a pretty huge change. Looks like Zelnik doesn't even need to attack that expansion. But one thing to note is that Sensor Tower does allow QXC to see this. There is a great attack about to happen. Wow, look at these Banelings. Looks like QXC is running for his... Oh my god, so many Banelings. QXC is running for his life right now. Holy crap.
That is ridiculous. Wow, and right now things are not looking good for QXC. He's basically out of Marauders, and nothing he can do. That Planetary Fortress is trying to do whatever it can, but wow.
Yeah, that was some really, I don't know, that was some interesting play right there from Zelnik. Just mass Baneling and blowing up as few as possible on QXC. He does take out that expansion of QXC. It's kind of trading or getting him back there for taking out his natural expansion. He does back up with some Medivacs, really low HP, but he does have a decent force here with oh no, here comes the Infestors waiting for fungal growth. Looks like they're about 60 mana, or yeah, 60 mana right now. He is probably going to be waiting for another 10 seconds for that fungal growth, and if he does attack QXC right now, that is just going to be devastating for the Terran player.
Yeah, he is going to stand there.
Look at that scan.
Well, no, he ran 2 SCVs into the giant group, and they disappeared probably before he caught an eye on them. But I don't know about this right here. Things not looking good right now. And, now we see more Banelings. They worked, it worked last time. Why not get about 50 more?
Yeah, it looks like he is going to be spawning some more. And another scan right on top. His scans are pretty impressive this game. He's going to be running in and stemming in, trying to get there before those Banelings pop. But there go the Banelings popping. And look at, wow, holy crap. That was some great Infestor usage of fungal growth there. Getting a ton of Medivacs as well as a ton of units of QXC. And it looks like Zelnik is going to be taking this match 2-0.
I mean, what an impressive game. I honestly haven't seen a game like that quite yet, where mass Banelings actually turn around. But wow, look at this. These Marauders on the top here are actually doing a pretty good job of holding this wall with his Medivacs behind them.
Yeah, QSC might actually be able to hold this. Wow, that front Marauder is just tanking the entire Zerg force. But one thing to note is that Zelnik does have that high yield expansion, so he is probably going to be able to reinforce and rebuild an army probably larger than QXC. QXC in kind of a tough situation as his main is completely mined out. He does have his command center lifted and probably going to be going for this southern expansion that Zelnik just killed off. And there we see some more Banelings being built from Zelnik, and another great scan right on top. This guy is out of control with these scans. Right on top of his units. But QXC might be getting prepared to attack right here. We'll have to see what the Terran player decides to do.
Now another battle. Here we go. Stem is hit. Not nearly as many Banelings as last time, but look at the Medivacs. 6 Medivacs up there. And now you see it. He's actually pushing him back. Wow. Queen goes down, and QXC is actually going to go for it here. But, I mean, as you noted, the production of Zelnik's going to be incredible, but will it be enough? You see more Banelings at the top of the ramp being morphed. He's killing the Nidus, but he needs to get up there and see those units. There we go. Wow. If he wins this is going to be an incredible comeback.
Yeah, really, if QXC does end up taking this match, there we go. Looks like he stopped producing those Banelings, but just too many Marauders there. He might actually win this game, Keith. This is going to be a great comeback from QXC if he does. No forces right now from Zelnik to actually defend against these Marauders. He does have about 7 or 8 Hydralisks in production right now, but I don't think he's going to be able to hold this push from QXC.
Things are not looking good right now. And QXC actually, while that's going on, did get an expansion up as well and is actually getting out a good amount of units himself. And as you see, Zelnik is getting all the right units. He needs to re-stem and speed up this process.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a blunder not stemming as those Medivacs are just waiting to start healing. But Zelnik looking like he's gonna stick through and try to hold out until the very end. But now he just has lost his entire main base, and he has pretty much no tech buildings up right now. So I guess all he has right now is a spawning pool. We'll have to see what Zelnik is actually trying to do right here.
Incredible! I cannot believe this game turned around like that.
Yeah, this is pretty ridiculous right now. One thing to note is that QXC does have 3-3, and that is probably the reason why he is be able to hold off that push. That is just an insane amount of upgrades there on those Marauders against Zelnik's 2-1 upgrades, which is just really, really not anything compared to 3-3 Marauders right now with so many Medivacs.
Wow, what an incredible game. JP, you're going to have to eat your words, buddy. You were calling it done.
I was calling it done. Sorry, QXC. That was completely a blunder by me for sure. Looks like he is going to be stemming, and some pretty good micro here with those Marauders. And there's the GG from Zelnik, putting this series at 1-1, and we are going into Game 3, Zelnik versus QXC, and I get to have the privilege of choosing our third map. I might actually ask the players if they can decide on a third map here relatively soon. So, Keith, I mean, we just saw QXC come back. That was insane. Tell me your thoughts about that match.
I mean, watching that stand at QXC's ramp with, I mean, what was it, like 4 Marauders with 5 medvacs, that one guy just basically tanking Zelnik's home force right there. I mean, that was incredible. And I mean, QXC just went for it. You saw him take that little shortcut, get in a good position, good stem, and just have a good fight, take out what Zelnik had. And even though Zelnik had a huge economic advantage right there, he just couldn't get out units fast enough. The one thing about Zerg is, you know, your hatches are spread apart. Units are coming from different directions. So whenever your force is wiped out and someone's in your base, you know, you're popping out, you know, 4 to 7, whatever, from this hatchery and whatever else from another, and everything's coming from a different direction. As you saw it, QXC was just able to take advantage of that, and it was just an incredible game.
Yeah, one thing to note is this is going to be our last match of the night, so for everyone trying to feverishly get into our MLG Fight Night, we will be doing this every Friday night, so make sure to come back next Friday night. But it looks like both players have agreed on Metalopolis for the last match, which I think a lot of professional players have taken a liking to this map. It's a pretty asymmetrical map, so we are going to be inviting these players here as soon as I can find them on this massive friend list. Probably should have gone on my other name to invite these players, but oh well.
And you know what? After that last game, like, I'm supposed to be leaving in just a couple minutes. I can't leave on that note. I'm just going to be late for work. That was a good game.
Awesome. So, first fight night, we are going to have Keith getting fired from his job. So
appreciate it.
We might actually have a real fight for Keith here in a little bit. Looking like I am for getting QXC in this lobby. Going to go ahead and invite him there and get Game 3 of this best of 3 series now, with both players tied 1-1. Zelnik taking the first match on Incineration Zone, in case you did forget, with an early Reaper harass from QXC failing, and then Zelnik just losing. I mean, I thought he had that one. I called it. I said on air that the map was over, and both players are saying good luck, have fun. So we're going to get this match started. Metalopolis, Game 3, QXC versus Zelnik, Terran versus Zerg. Keith, Metalopolis, what do you think about this map in the TVZ matchup?
Now, once again, this is a map that is a good spot for Zerg because you have that easy expansion right outside your base. Unlike Lost Temple, there's not that high ground right outside that you know, there is that ramp that goes into another expansion, but you're able to kind of deal with that. So Zerg on this map really has a strength in that, you know, that early hatchery is always an option, but also with so much distance between, there's a good amount of distance between your opponent, and those 2 Zelnago watchtowers right in the middle give you a lot of vision. But Terran also do like to do Reaper harass on this map as well, but we'll have to see exactly what QXC goes for, because it looks like his late game is extremely strong.
Looks like QXC is asking how many viewers we have, and I am not sure that I can actually talk to him. Oh, actually I can, because I did set myself as a referee. looks to be about 500 or so. So anyways, going back to this match, we do have the purple Terran spawning in the west and the yellow Zerg Zelnik in the east. So players, a little bit of eats. Wow, as I stumble through that. East meets West. Jesus Christ, I'm casting ridiculous amounts of time tonight, and it is just completely messing up my words as I stumble through that. But looks like QXC does have his supply depot down, and probably going to see some standard openers here, as we do not see an early racks from QXC.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen two kind of wild games, you know, the early Reaper Harass earlier, and then going straight into that expansion for Zelnik, and then QXC trying to respond with getting that bunker down, a little miss micro, losing that SCV, but you know, that game was back and forth so many different times. It was absolutely incredible. So it looks like both of these players are just going to go ahead and duke it out in a serious game. Nothing crazy going on just yet. The standard from Zerg, but no gas just yet. So it looks like he is going to opt to go for that early hatchery.
Yeah, he does have a spawning pole, looks to be about halfway built. He does have also a drone selected, sitting at about 200 minerals right now. He's probably going to start moving that over here. As soon as he approaches about 250, there's the last mine. Let's see if he starts moving it towards that natural expansion. There we go, sending that over. Going back over to QXC's base, we do see him having that refinery down, as well as that rack just finishing. And also, wow, look at this SCV from QXC. And Zelnik is a little bit upset from QXC with that hatchery deny. Look at QXC just microing some great micro here from QXC on that SCV, denying this hatchery from being built. Oh, wow, I thought he was going to get it down right there, but no, he's not. QXC continues to build in his base, and there's the hatchery. QXC just saying, okay, I've delayed you enough. I'm going to let you have that, and I'm going to go scout your base right now. No Zerglings to repel that SCV, so he is just seeing everything that Zerg player is doing. Going back over to QXC's base, he does have his refinery up, orbital command up, and also his racks up. Looks like he is going to be opting for a factory, but it is not as close to his racks as I would like if he's going to be doing any Hellion harassment. He might be going for some type of maybe a Thor build, or maybe, okay, there's the reactor, so I'm just going to have to eat my words. He's probably going to be going for an early Hellion there, right there.
And I mean, watching that kind of timing from these professional players is just incredible. That SCV gets there as the drone is going to put down the hatchery, just walks over and, you know, does a few laps and just laughs the entire time. Right now, QXC just, after that last game and watching the start of this one, just, he's already showing he's an incredible player.
We do see a Roach Warren now being about halfway built in Zelnik's base, so he's going to be opting for that 2-base Roach build. That Queen looks like, wow. Queen got there a little bit early on that natural expansion as well as those drones, but it's not too much of a worry. QXC is sending another SCV to scout out what type of tech the Zerg player is going to be getting. Now we see a Rax being finished. Another Rax being finished, and also a tech lab being attached to that first Rax, with 2 Hellions being built from that reactor on top of that factory, waiting for a second gas from QXC right now. Looks like that SCV did see everything that is going on inside of Zelnik's base. He does also have 2 Queens up right now. He almost lost that SCV right there from that Queen, but not to worry, as he did get out, and now we have him spotting Roaches from the Zerg player.
So it looks like these Roaches are going to come out just about in time. The Hellions may get there a little early, but with 2 Queens out, no, 1 Roach already out and a Queen, yeah, 2 Roaches, he's going to be fine with this early harass. But, I mean, again, QXC is really getting great sight of Zelnik, just getting to see exactly everything that's going on.
Yeah, one thing to note, I just recently glanced back at the chat asking if these professional players are actually professional in the fact that they do get paid. And actually, these players do not get paid. When I say professional, I mean that they are the top tier of players right now in the game. And going back into this match, we do see some Hellion harassment on one lone Roach. It looks like that other Roach is just taking the day off, kind of, I guess, lollygagging there right down the ramp. It looks like QXC was trying to snipe a little bit of drones, but Zelnik is just going to not allow that at all. And now we see QXC falling back to the Zelnaga Watchtower and moving forward with some Marauders now. A little bit of an early push here with a couple Marauders, a couple Marines, and a couple Hellions from the Terran player.
Now, this could get pretty nasty, but oh, there you see it. Now, already Zelnik getting 2 Spine Crawlers up. The question is, will they finish in time? Because these Roaches are going to get melted. It's only 5 Roaches out versus this crew of Marauders, and it's 5 Marauders, couple Marines, and 5 Hellions. So a pretty nice-sized force coming out already from QXC, but these Spine Crawlers just about to finish, and it looks like they will finish before this force gets here. And wow, I mean, again, another game where both of these players are just kind of going back and forth with one another.
That was some great timing there on those spine crawls. Looks like QXC is going to be able to take down that Roach as they do have the concussive shell upgrade from that tech lab. Looks like he is not researching stim right now. A little bit maybe of a blunder as he does have the resource, or actually he does not have the gas for it. He might be waiting for 150 gas, but now looks like he's going to be able to snipe that spine crawler. It does take 12 seconds now to get down. Oh, he probably could have killed that Roach. He's going to take one more. Come on, kill that 1 HP spine crawler. There we go. Oh, he needs to move that queen back as it will possibly fall down right here. Wow, and that queen actually lives with 32 HP. Uh-oh, need to move it back. There you go, Zelny.
Be cool, queen. Be cool.
Be cool, man. He is going to be able to snipe down that extractor. 2 Roaches just spawning. A little bit of a blunder there, having him rally towards those units. He is going to be attacking those Hellions, but looks like those Marauders is going to be really well microed. But I think Zelnik might actually be able to chase out the forces of QXC, and maybe not as wow. Some great sandwich here from QXC. Just mixed up a nice little sandwich there for Zelnik, but looks like Zelnik is going to be able to hold that off. His Hellions do not do that much damage. Some great micro from these 2. Wow, looks like those 2 Marauders just easily took down those 2 Roaches with some great micro. And now we see 4 more Roaches actually engaging those Hellions, and just some all-out battle here between QXC and Zelnik in Game 3.
Now, taking a quick look while this is going on, Zelnik's income compared to QXC's is really taking off. So even though these fights are starting to be really close, as long as Zelnik can just hold it off, start pumping out some new units now, this game should be going in his favor.
Yeah, he doesn't. He actually has that Hydralisk Den now as well, and also building a Baneling Nest. QXC needs to get an expand. Wow, actually biting my words there. He does have that command center up. He also is moving it over to his natural expansion, and he's continuing to contain the Zerg player here. Zelnik not phased. He's going to, looks like, hold position those Roaches. He needs to move them back there as QXC snipes a little bit more Roaches, but also just containing the Zerg player. Really, really nice play from both players right now.
A little bit of a blunder too on Zelnik on that bottom refinery. He does. Oh, there we go. And finally fixing it. But oh, that's a good number of Roaches, and it looks like that Zelnik's going to push out a little bit. But again, QXC doing a great job of microing those Marauders.
Looks like he's going to get one more Roach for home. He also is going to get wow, another one as that one just kind of wanders off there into the blue yonder and gets killed. But wow, one thing to note is we do see Burrow being researched for Zelnik. And also, if you did watch our MLG Showcase series, you did see Slush, the Zerg player, well, I guess this is a little bit of a spoiler, but let's just say he did use the Burrow technique rather well. But looks like Zelnik kind of lost a little bit too many forces right there. Some great micro from the Marauders using those concussive cells, but I think Zelnik is going to be able to overtake the Terran forces right here.
Yeah, and now you're seeing it as Zelnik's economy really starting to show, but running away from those... Oh, wow, but see, QXC did see Burrow on that. He did see that those Roaches can burrow, so maybe going to save up, make sure he has a little bit to scan. Yeah, that front orbital command having plenty of energy, and he's probably just going to end up trying to save that. And, I mean, right now you just have 5 racks pumping at this point. Engineering Bay at the back, not researching just yet. And, I mean, basically pretty standard. Now we see a starport going down, probably going to go ahead and get a Raven out, as I think a lot of people have been talking about those games, that Slush's games.
Right, we do see a ton of Banelings now being built from Zelnik, possibly going to be seeing that same push that we did see last. He was actually getting those Roaches completely full HP there with that Burrow. He actually has not researched that tunneling clause tech, that do allow them to move while burrowed, but it does not matter as he just has a ton of Banelings right now. Going back over to QXC's base, he does have quite the Marauder force. Looks like he does not have any upgrades right now, but he is actually getting upgrades with 2 engineering base, and he just has a ton of racks right now, pumping out as many Marauders as possible with that sim upgrade. Zelnik is actually going to be taking this southernmost expansion from his main base, but the Hellion did see it, so QXC knows that he possibly needs to either be aggressive right here or take another expansion. It looks like he's going to opt for the first, as he is moving those Marauders down the left lane of the map.
This could get nasty. 1 Infestor already out, almost enough mana to fungal growth, and all those Banelings. Oh, this could just get real nasty real quick if Zelnik can get him in the right position. See how he's not showing the Banelings and the Infestor. He wants him to think that all he has is that right there. Get his units balled up, and oh, it's going to be incredible to watch.
This is going to be some interesting plays. Those Hellions do
And a
rush in.
scan!
A
He
scan.
scanned!
What in the world is with QXC scans right now? He scans right on top of Zelniks. All of his Banelings and his Infestor were seen. Looks like QXC is just waiting down that ramp, and just so many forces right now from Zelnik, waiting to see which player is going to dive in first. He's doing a little bit poke here with those Hellions, trying to see what his opponent is up to. Now he's going to be taking a little bit of some pot shots. We do see a stim there. Looks like we're going to see, wow, just some impressive play from Zelnik. Look at those Banelings just demolish half the Terran's forces right there, as he still has many Banelings still alive, taking out more Marauders. Jesus.
Many Banelings.
Many Banelings. Well, he does burrow those Banelings there at the last second, although they are going to regen relatively slow. Looks like Zelnik definitely won that fight.
Yeah, and his third expansion getting up and running, and now you're seeing it once again. These little pushes, taking an expansion, get his economy ahead, but still, the fungal growth with many Banelings.
He is going to be warping in many more not warping, but building many more Banelings. Here comes another Infestor to join his fight. Looks like we see a lone SCV scouting from the Terran player. He is going to be seeing all of those units, but QXC not phased. He's going to continue to keep macroing those Marauders, and also he has a new expansion up there, warping in a planetary fortress there in the northernmost part of the map.
And now we're seeing it once again. Now these medevacs are starting to come out of these starports, but still, I mean, looking at Zeldik's army composition, things are going to be a little rocky. He does have level 1 ground carapace research, but no other upgrades really going just yet. But looking over at QXC, he already has +1 infantry weapon with +2 on the way.
Looks like QXC putting the Terran player actually not too far behind. He's almost already capped with his Overlords, but he does have 4 Overlords kills, which Zelnik really isn't phased that much by, as he is sitting at 130 of 180 food. So he's not really getting hurt too much by QXC's harassment here. Look at that Infestor right below the Vikings. Looks like the Infestor really can't do anything. His Neural Parasite is a research ability right now. And now we see some aggression from Zelnik. He's going to be going right below that most northern expansion. Not even sure if he's seen that yet. He has actually not seen that right now. But he is getting ready to attack the Terran player. And here we go, Keith. I'll let you do the play-by-play on this.
And it's going to be pretty nasty. We're going to see who comes out on top once again. Once those Banelings come around and this fungal growth goes off, there it is once again. Oh, it's so good to watch being a Zerg player. But still, though, QXC on top again. On that fight, he was 1-1 once again, and it looks like 2-1 is going to be finishing it in just a moment. Yes, he does have both those engineering bays going, and that's really starting to show in these kind of fights. I mean, that is also a ridiculous amount of Marauders, and now you're seeing it. Uh-oh, Zelnik kind of caught in a bad spot. Not very many units right there, and there you see it. The best part about Marauders with those concussive shells is picking off units that kind of get too far behind. But look at these Banelings underneath all these Marauders. Oh, this could be good.
QXC better watch out where. Oh man, actually not that much damage there from those Banelings on those Marauders. It looks like he probably is going to be able to take out those Hydralisks relatively easy. And one thing to note is that 2 more hatcheries just now popped there at those expansion closest to QXC's forces. Looks like Zelnik is going to be making some more Hydras. He needs to regather, regroup his forces if he's going to have any chance of repelling this Marauder attack from QXC.
Yeah. I think we're back into that same position of Force of Turn coming along all these hatcheries, and your units kind of coming across. But wow, a lot of Hydralisks actually spawning over there, kind of in that bottom right position, and it looks like he's going to try to rally over there. Go ahead and sack these hatcheries. Would like to see him burrow these drones here. Just go ahead and not sack. Maybe force a scan. There. Wow, I'm magic. I feel like I just did that myself.
You wish you were playing this well right now in this game from Zelnik. And looking at these Hydralisks, he does have quite the force from the Zerg player. QXC not phased those. He is feeling quite happy about himself, just taking out 2 of the Zerg's expansion, sitting there letting these 5 medevacs there completely completely heal up his force. And it looks like he's going to fall back and kind of opt to build up his force, possibly.
Yeah, and taking a look over on the upgrade side of Zelnik just now. Oh.
Uh-oh. Some pause. I'm not really sure if our observer pinged on the map or what happened right there.
Huh.
QXC getting a little bit of rage right now, but reassuring him that no one actually pinged right there. I don't think I pinged. Maybe I just fat-fingered the button or something. Just started clicking around the map. I don't think I did. I'm a little bit tired right now. I don't think I'm that tired. I think I would remember if I did that. So getting back to this match, we do see a ton of Marauders now from the Terran player QXC, and Zelnik actually has kind of comparable forces here from the Zerg player. It looks like he is going to have a little bit of a miss scan there, but not too much to worry. We do see that +1 Carapace upgrade now finished. He's going to be getting that +1 weapons upgrade. Wow, he's actually going to be doing a little bit of a lift right here into the main of Zelnik. He only has a couple of units right there, but he's going to try to snipe down that Hydralisk, and he's going to be able to get that down quite easily. Might even get that spawning pool, and that's just going to put the Zerg player so far behind. Some great little, I guess you would call that a harassment from the Terran player. Wow, he just took out almost all of his tech right now. He can't build. It looks like the only thing he can build are roaches and maybe some banelings if he has any Zerglings in his force right now.
Yeah, and he actually sniped that evolution chamber as well, which was getting that +1 ranged upgrade. And, I mean, in just a few moments here, he's going to be 3-2 on his Marauders. And, yeah, now you're seeing it. QXC just doing an incredible job.
Yeah, QXC just sniping that hatchery, making sure Zelnik has really no minerals. He's going to be on one base right now. But look at the amount of drones there. Just rallied between that fallen expansion there. He has almost looks to be about 9 larvae there, just sitting there, not able to do anything as he is starved right now for gas. And going back over to the Terran player, he does have so many more Marauders now, reinforcing his main force. Looks like he has about, I want to say, 7 racks, just continuing to pumping out forces. And QXC continues the expansion as he is going to be taking that high yield. Looks like we're about to see another fight here with Zelnik. Looks to be about a ton of Hydras and a couple of Banelings there in the back. He does see the QXC is kind of transitioning into this other lane as he does have a drone there buried at the high yield expansion closest to his main. Looks like QXC is going to be scanning right on top of those Banelings as they were about to burrow. Wow, another great scan from Zelnik, or from QXC, excuse me.
All I can say is many, many Marauders.
Yeah, and look at those. I mean, he has 9 medevacs as well. So just a ton of Marauders and medevacs right now. Just almost all medevac army. And here we go. We're about to see a fight. Need to get some really clutch. Wow, and that is some great fungal growth there. But is it going to be enough? I'm not sure. No. It looks like all of those things were crushed. And there is the great concave from QXC and the GG from Zelnik. QXC defeating him 2-1. And really what I expected a little bit less from that matchup. Not gonna lie. I mean, that was some incredible games there from these two players, Keith.
It was great games. Late for work. I'm out. Peace.
All right, so there goes Keith, my co-caster, as he has to run to work now, as it is about 15 minutes late. But that is going to do it for MLG's first ever fight night. Make sure you join us again next week, same time, 9 p.m. Central Time Zone. Looks like we set, I think our max was about 500 viewers this week, so possibly going to be shooting for more. But thanks everyone who participated, and probably going to work out some way of a better system for next week. Is dealing with about 500 friend invites over the night was a little bit too much for me. But also remember, we do have the MLG Showcase Series coming to you. We haven't actually set a date or an opponent for next week's match, but that will be coming soon, as well as a State of the Game podcast coming probably on Tuesday, as we are going to be waiting for Noni to travel back home, so we can't have him on the guest list for that cast. So I want to thank both of our producers for sticking with us tonight and producing this show. As hopefully the live stream looked great tonight, and thanks to all of you viewers for coming out and joining us tonight. This is JP McDaniel for the MLG Fight Night, and we will be back next week at 9 p.m. Central.